Hello, this is episode 20 of the Galen Trombley Show. This is a big day. We've moved into a new decade. We're on the 20s now. Today I have in studio, turn the thing down a little bit, but in studio we have Nicole Cline. I met Nicole kind of through mutual friends and kind of like a business after hours and things like that. But again, you know, I've always enjoyed talking with her, and then I wanted to have her on because I think she's got a good mix of super professionalism, but then she's also she's I think a backcountry girl at heart. So I think this will be a good perspective. So Nicole, welcome to the Galen Trombley Show.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Is this your first podcast?
It totally is.
Okay.
And I'm probably gonna be weird.
That's all right. I think you already had mentioned that listening through the headsets is already kind of weird, but you'll be fine. You'll get used to it in about 20 minutes in. You'll probably be like, it's okay. So. Nicole, for people that do not know you, just kind of go a little bit into your background. I guess how you came to be 2019 Nicole.
Ooh, that's a few years.
Wait, how old are you first?
No.
You can't. You're against that.
All right.
Okay, so she's under 30. She's in her 20s. I can say that, right?
You can. Okay. And I'm over the hump. I'm about to turn 27.
Okay.
So I'm feeling a little better about that. 26 wasn't.
That still makes me feel. I wish I was that age. So you're good. You're good. Okay.
It's not 46.
No, you're good. Keep going.
So originally I am from a very small town called Hopkinton, which is way out in the sticks between Malone and Potsdam. And I grew up off the grid. I lived on a seasonal road. Indoor plumbing was not an option when I was born. We had a generator, and yeah, it was definitely roughing it. So grew up middle of the sticks. Spent a lot of time out playing. We didn't have TV. My parents thought that was a weird idea, strangely enough. So that kind of formed a lot of my childhood. I just loved playing outside and hiking and canoeing and all that stuff. Ended up graduating from Potsdam High School. I moved when I was in high school, and then went to SUNY Potsdam for the most useful degree in the world of Anthropology. My parents obviously did not give me any guidance in that department. So I always tell people that I was professionally trained to talk to people for a living, which is about the only thing I got from that. Yeah, and then after I graduated, I did really well in school academically, but I didn't love it. I was more research based, and I grew up with a blue collar working family. So I ended up telling my advisor in like 10 days before graduation, while he had gotten me scholarships in a couple different places in Canada, like full rides to grad school. I told him that I had absolutely no interest in going to school again and being a researcher because I wanted to be happy. Right or wrong, I packed up my bags, went to Lake Placid because that was where the mountains were, and started working at a hotel, and kind of walked my way to Plattsburgh from there.
So how did you end up in? I mean, I've had a few people on from kind of that area, the Potsdam or western part of New York. Most of them went to college at Plattsburgh, and you're probably the first one that did not say that. So like obviously Lake Placid, which the closest I would just kind of city would be Plattsburgh, or I don't even know if to call it a city, but a destination kind of spot. So what was your first run-in with Plattsburgh?
Honestly, it was around jobs. So one of my friends that I went to college with, her parents lived in Plattsburgh, and I only lived in Lake Placid for about a year, and the jobs just weren't great. I mean, good career opportunities. Like I learned a lot of stuff in Lake Placid, and had a lot of opportunity to try really big stuff at a young age in my career, but I think 12 months an hour helps. So, and you always have the stress of like my hours going to be cut, even in a management role. So, it just wasn't something that I saw myself building a career in long term, and I really wanted to stay somewhere. Home wasn't an option either. There weren't really many jobs around home that I saw a good fit for, so I started talking to my friend who was living in Plattsburgh at the time, and we had always thought maybe we should just live together, save a couple bucks, have an apartment. And I just started looking at a couple of jobs and ended up starting my career at ETS.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of commission-based work, but there were a lot of things, like the whole job evolved as I was there. So I think I started out as like like an admin coordinator type person, so kind of marketing-ish.
But you weren't in commission based at that point?
No, it was just hourly, and they were able to, I mean, everything's better than seasonal hourly work,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it got me in, and within like a couple months I ended up recruiting right away, which was cool. It all just kind of happened naturally, and I like the environment here. I mean, it's definitely coming from a town of a couple hundred people. It's huge to be in Plattsburgh, so I liked it.
And I guess so. You pretty much have stayed north your whole life for the most part. Kind of northern. I mean, did you ever at any point move away, live somewhere else, in college, travel?
Yeah, so in high school, I actually lived in New Zealand for a couple of months.
Oh, cool.
Totally thought I was going to stay there forever.
Do you know what Vegemite is?
I do.
Okay, keep talking. I tried it Sunday morning on the last podcast. I was gonna die.
Yeah, that's about right.
My throat's just recovering. Sorry, keep going. So you were in New Zealand, and
yeah, so I volunteered between my junior and senior year of high school. I volunteered doing community service out in New Zealand and did some like outdoor backpacking for a month, and then community service for a couple months. And I was like dead set that I was going to go back to college in New Zealand. A little bit slower pace of life there. Applied to the school and then realized as I was figuring it out that their semesters don't line up because it's in the opposite hemisphere. So like
winter, summer, just switch. Yeah.
So I would have had to start college in I think it was January or February when my graduation wasn't until June, or I would have had to take time off, which was not an option for me. So I ended up like pushing everything forward, trying to graduate early, and I think just the culmination of realizing like I was going to move to another hemisphere in a 16-hour time difference where there are times where you're calling your parents on a different day at 17 years old, graduating early. Like how do I legally do that? And
wait, this was in high school?
I was in high school, yeah.
Oh, okay. So man, I missed that. I was in college. Okay.
No, I literally.
So you were like an exchange student style.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
I researched this whole program. I totally wanted to go abroad. My parents were like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. We're not gonna pay for that. And so I researched the whole program, applied to all the scholarships within the program. Didn't get a full ride, so I fundraised in town without ever telling my parents. And like about 4 weeks or so before I was leaving for New Zealand as a minor, told my parents I needed them to sign the paperwork so I could go. And I was like, hey.
Oh, so you're like already committed. Everybody was like planning on you going.
Fully paid by our community without my parents knowing.
Wow. Wow. Brave. Okay. So.
Yep. So went there, got too frustrated with trying to figure out the logistics.
Where do they speak?
So I lived in a small fishing village called Pompeii. Like if you were to look at the northern island, there's this huge bay on the northern part of the northern island. It's about smack dab in the middle of that. And the Maori population is very prominent in that area, and they speak Maori. But it's one of the only areas where they still speak very strongly Maori. Most of it's English.
And that's like a community-based dialect or whatever they would speak there, or is it its own language, or is it kind of like when you go to like Africa, they all have like communities all have their own little special language?
It's kind of like.
I mean, do they speak English?
Yeah, they all speak English too.
Okay.
But it would be like if you were to go up to more people spoke it. It would be like if you went up to Akwesasne and they were speaking their native language. I guess it was very similar to that because there's very similar dynamics to our native communities too. But like I said, 70 to 75% of the population spoke Maori. So.
Was that their main language? So like you're like,
all right,
yeah. Back up here, keep going.
So, I was not a very good 17-year-old. I had a host family, and my dad was the mayor of this small town, which was like about the size of Potsdam, maybe a little bit smaller. And he was very bougie, like. Husband and wife slept in a different room, which kind of creeped me out, that they were not really together, but together. He asked me all these things about the economy in New Jersey and was disappointed that I didn't know that, which, okay, really, Mac, I probably should know if I'm living in the country, like, have a general concept of the different states, but I wanted to drink instead, so I ended up making friends with one of my bosses at the places that I volunteered, and she and her husband were from Hungary, and, like, weren't officially citizens, so they're kind of like, kind of a sketchy situation, we'll say. They would speak in like whispering Hungarian around me at all times and then laugh and smile. But we became really good friends. So one day I was like, hey, I know you want me to go on this like special trip for you that's going to be campaigning. I'm going to go drink with them. And
with the Hungary people?
Yeah. So I ended up staying with them for the majority of the trip after. And
So what did the original people? Did they just like at that point cut ties with you? Didn't care?
Ooh,
Did you ever speak to them again?
I did.
Did you have to like get a signed paperwork on the way out? Like.
They did have to give me my belongings back. The host dad wasn't happy with me because apparently they have cockroaches in New Zealand, which like, okay, I've lived in, the middle of the sticks. We don't have cockroaches here. I didn't really think about like general housekeeping tips. So I had a wet bathing suit that was hanging over my luggage, and it had stayed there for like a couple weeks because I didn't come home for a couple weeks, and ended up lifting it up when I went to move, and there was like an infestation of cockroaches underneath, and they had like a perfectly pristine, beautiful house as you would expect in the mayor of the town. So it didn't go over very well. And he was pretty good. Like, he wasn't very happy with me. I did stay with them for a little bit right before I left. The host mom was the sweetest lady on the face of this earth, and I feel so guilty. I was such a jerk. Because she was just so nice and caring, but she was like a grandma.
Yeah.
And I was like a 17-year-old wanting a party in a different country.
Yeah. Yep.
And he wouldn't talk to me. Like, I don't think he would have spoken to me again, but one of the nights before I left, we had a major earthquake. Like, when we looked out they had a big glass window near my bed. When you looked out the window, it looked like the grass was the ocean. It was so big. And I'd never been through an earthquake in my life, and it totally freaked me out. And he grabbed me out of bed in the middle of the night, and we like stood in a doorway, whatever. And I was obviously terrified, and they're used to it down there. But I think that kind of broke the ice because he talked to me after that, like having to rescue me in the middle of the night. And everything's totally fine. It's normal for them. So, but had we not had a major event, I'm pretty sure he would never speak to me again. So yes, I did live in New Zealand.
That's crazy. That was 2 months, you said?
3 months.
3 months. And that was what was the dates again on that? Because you said it was opposite of.
I was 17, so almost 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was between my junior and senior year.
It was during the summer?
Yep. So
our summer, their winter.
Yes, which
Okay.
is totally cool because I got a winter of skiing at home.
Mm-hmm.
Went to New Zealand, got to ski all winter there.
Oh, you
and
could?
then came back and got to ski all winter.
Do they
here.
have skiing?
Oh yeah, get out. So
I don't know much about New Zealand. Like, I always just think it's warm down there.
No. So I was in the North Island, which is the warmest part area, and it was their winter, which is probably like it was like 30s and 40s. But we hiked up. There's like 4 volcanoes in the center of the mountain, and we hiked up a live volcano. Which, okay, to some people who live near them, that's normal. But to me, it was totally cool.
Yeah, that's sweet.
We built snow caves on top of the mountain, like kind of like an igloo.
Mm-hmm.
Slept in them, and then skied down.
Ski down the volcano?
Skied down the volcano.
Wow.
Totally the coolest thing ever. And we skied down to a hiking trail. We left our skis. Someone picked up our skis. We hiked for like 3 days out in the middle of the woods, and then ended up. We were supposed to go on a little bike trip in between. We had to get a ride. I don't remember. I think it was a riverside or something. Then we ended up like going down to this big river and ended up canoeing for like 3 days after that. So it was like straight. You went from skiing to hiking to canoeing because the elevation change was so dramatic.
What was it? I mean, was there a big temperature drop? Because you said you went swimming, right? Because you had a wet bathing suit. So you said swimming.
They had a hot tub.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No.
I was thinking, like, man, they got a real big gap.
We went canoeing. We had a canoe like in wetsuits and stuff.
How'd you get up the volcano? Was it just hiking?
Or
was there like was there a ski lift? I mean.
We didn't take the ski lift. We ended up, so it was like a regular ski resort.
But
we drove up and hiked halfway up or so. I think, yeah, that's what we did.
But
we didn't go all the way to the top.
But the ski resort was on the edge of the volcano?
Yeah, we were on the opposite side of the ski resort.
Wow. That's sweet.
I thought it was gonna like erupt in my sleep in my snow cave, which would be a really good story.
When's the last time it erupted? It was probably like hundreds of years before.
Probably, but they were like, it's super active. And, oh my god, that'd be lava.
Could you look inside and was it bubbling? Could
No,
you see down below?
It was we didn't go all the way to the top, but it was like a perfect conical volcano, and the one next to it was a perfect cone as well.
That's cool.
The one next to it, Nyaruhoi was the name of it. It was the one that was used as Mount Doom in the Lord of the Rings. At least that's what the locals told me. I want to believe it because it's really cool. But I'm pretty sure it was because there's a lot of filming where I was of Lord of the Rings in that area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, is the geography like I never watched Lord of the Rings, so I don't know. But is it kind of like Game of Thrones, like kind of that mountainside cliffs? Because like most of those I think are filmed kind of in like Scotland, Northern Ireland, kind of thing like that. Is it similar? kind of a lot of the cliffs with the grass on it and the mountainsides and things.
Definitely those grassy, big rolling grassy hills that
Yep.
are semi-mountains. Really the only mountains that I saw, again, because I was in the North Island, which is pretty flat comparatively, were the volcanoes.
Wow.
But they were like, it was like flat, that was massive volcanoes.
I've seen one volcano in my life, and it was in Italy.
Ooh.
Mount Vesuvius?
Oh yeah.
Is that
That's
it?
the one that was like.
That erupted over Pompeii?
Yeah.
Yes. So I went to Pompeii.
Cool.
I actually, when this was in high school too, this was about 10 years ago, a little longer. I remember going over there, and you know when you get, like, I'm the kind of guy, like, if you know when you get souvenirs, like, I don't need a souvenir like a magnet, like Mount Vesuvius, whatever. So I actually, like, I don't know if I was supposed to do this, but I took so when I was in Italy, I took 2 stones back with me. So I took a stone back from Pompeii, because it was like the pumice looking kind of stone, because it looks like legit, probably from the volcano whenever it erupted. And then I remember taking a stone from the Colosseum. Like, I just,
no,
yeah,
that's
so
dangerous.
I don't know if you're supposed to do that. So I'm like, I'm probably not going on that. Well, tape delayed, but we're. I don't know if I'm gonna like go around telling the Italians that, but I just like I kind of figured like out of all this stuff, I might as well kind of it's kind of historic. Who knows? Maybe that was their original stone from like 400 or 500 years ago. But I in a spot that you probably wouldn't want to grab something out of, kind of like like a legit like. I had worked to get the stone. It wasn't like I just grabbed it off the sidewalk, like it could have been anything. But I don't know. I'm always kind of fascinated by that kind of stuff, like local, either like beaches. I remember I had a teacher in high school. She would collect sand, or students would collect sand from her. So if they go like traveling, they would grab sand from the beach. They put it in a little baggie, Ziploc it, and tag it. So she had like black sand. She had the really coarse sand. I think someone went to Hawaii and had was it the black beaches or whatever. And then you had people that would like semi-local beaches, you know, they'd go to like Maine or something, but there was a few all over the world, and she had this whole board, and they were all tacked up, so you could go and feel the different sands from all around the world. So it was kind of like a cool thing she did, which, looking back at it now, like I kind of like, that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Back then, you're a 15, 16-year-old kid, and you're just like, oh, cool, sand, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was cool. So New Zealand, they do have skiing.
Yes, they do have skiing. They have a lot of skiing in southern New Zealand.
That's crazy. How long have you skied?
Very long, but I'm not very good.
Okay, so to preface this, I've gone skiing once with Nicole. She's very, I think you're very technically good. I think you are. You could ski almost anything. I think
I'm a granny skier.
I think you're. She's good. She's skied way more than I've ever skied. Actually, I think you were the one where I was just trying to. It took me about 20 minutes just to put the boots on.
Yes, that's true.
So
I did have to mom you with the boots.
yeah, she did. She did. I was actually excited. I remember going up there, and we got up there, and poor Meg was about the same as me. Like I'm not offering much when it comes to skiing. I really don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm kind of good once I get up there, but like I don't know how to really like. I'm kind of one of those like kids. I don't know how to dress myself to go out and play in the snow. But once I'm out there, I have a good time. So I ended up like, I didn't know you were there, and like I saw you, and I was so excited because I've never been to Whiteface. I was lost. I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't even know put my boots on, and so luckily we ran into you, but made me feel a little better. So no, New Zealand's good. So you came back, and then you went to Potsdam.
Yes.
What made you go into anthropology?
I don't even know.
I took an anthropology class. I mean, like, anthropology is the study of like human culture, right?
Yes.
So it's not necessarily like bones and things like it can be.
No, the archaeologists deal with the dead.
Archaeologists,
people,
yeah.
And the anthropologists deal with the ones that are still alive.
Yeah. So we took some classes, which was semi cool. We learned about different like cultures and stuff at Plattsburgh State, but not enough where I'd want to go into that field. So what would make you like that? Was it?
I have no idea. I truly don't like.
Because you stuck with it for 4 years.
Oh my God, I have a black hole of a memory of when I decided this is a great idea. It wasn't bad. I took I kind of crafted a lot of my degree to what I wanted it to be, by just doing different elective stuff that I could make fit whatever I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up focusing a lot on public policy and kind of how culture shapes the way we respond to certain things. So I applied to and was fortunate enough to receive a grant to conduct a couple-year-long research project on what public policies were in place in Keene when Hurricane Irene came through, and like how volunteerism filled all the gaps in between, and how the culture of these small town communities really was the reason why they succeeded so well through the volunteer efforts. So I was really interested in that kind of thing. I was really interested, I thought of doing more like public policy related stuff in grad school, or I also looked at like ecotourism, so just trying to understand how people understand their surroundings and what their interests are, but coming from very small communities and having lived in so many very small communities, both here and throughout just all my travels, I was always interested in how that culture kind of shaped people's decisions and how they developed a sense of community, I guess. So I tried to shape a lot of my programs around that kind of stuff.
Did you go to grad school?
I did not, like I said, 10 days out. I'm really happy.
Now, so when you went for anthropology, was that, what you just said, that was like going to graduate, that was your goal as to what you wanted to do?
So the biggest thing that I wanted to do, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of grad school now. So there was a grad school in Vancouver
Okay.
that I ended up getting accepted to, and as I kind of like had formulated the idea, I'm like, okay, I like jumping off cliffs in the middle of the woods and hiking big mountains, and I guess I can do some research. So what do I do with that? It's like, okay, well, some of the ecotourism and that kind of stuff, community and economic development and community planning, that all relates to all the pieces that I'm interested in. And they had a program out there in Vancouver, and what their focus for me would have been in my grad program was to help, there's a huge mountain.
In Vancouver?
Yeah, it's a huge ski resort.
It's not Whistling?
Whistler.
Whistler? I think so. It's in British Columbia and stuff? Yes, okay, yep.
So they would have had me focus there and help redo their tourism program from an anthropological lens of how do you develop this sense of community when you come and experience a place. So, I mean, it was really cool, but my family's over here.
Yeah.
It's a really long flight.
What's your family like?
Dysfunctional. Sorry, Mom.
Are you like shameless? You're one of those?
We are probably dysfunctional in our family.
Do you have siblings?
I do. So my mom, I have a sister on my mom's side who's 15 years older than me.
Okay.
And my mom was born, oh gosh, she was born in Alabama and then grew up in Louisiana, then like ditched it to California for her teenage years, and then at 18 like hauled off and went to Alaska.
Okay.
So a little bit of backdrop, like wild and crazy mom.
Yeah.
And my mom ended up moving from somewhere in between, not too long between Alaska. She ended up in Florida, and my sister was really young at the time. And met my dad, my dad has been a carpenter forever. My dad's been a carpenter forever, and he was a carpenter. She was a bank teller. He was a carpenter in Florida, but he was only a carpenter a few months out of the year because he was actually a full-time sailor. Like he was sailing in the Bahamas, and he would come in just to fix his boat, take a few odd jobs, make enough money to restock the boat, and go out in the ocean for like 8-10 months. And so Dad wooed Mom, little Mom bank teller here,
Yeah.
who was got these starry eyes, and I love traveling the world. So Mom wanted to raise my sister. Mom wanted to homeschool my sister on the sailboat, and like they were sailing in the 80s, and my dad sailed for almost 10 years, and so in like the 70s, of course, I don't know how real this is, but I want to believe it, I don't want to believe it. Dad was like sailing at the tail end of the Colombian drug trade where there weren't really rules in the international waters, so he talked about like, man, things just happen and people start shooting at you, and you know, you just gotta survive. I'm like, okay, these are not childhood stories anymore, Dad. So wildly dysfunctional, like I'm telling you, wildly crazy people. They ended up, my dad had a cousin who lived in the middle of the sticks in Hopkinton, homesteading, and he was like, well, if I can't sail, might as well homestead, because what else would you do that's away from people? So they moved to literally the middle of nowhere, Hopkinton, like seasonal road. We had 100 acres, I think we had a little more than 100 acres before Dad started carrying it off, but at 100 acres, they moved in tents. Like literally, my sister was 5, I think, and they moved in and lived in a tent while Dad built the house. He was a carpenter, he's built houses from the ground up forever, and made my sister, which she will never let go, take cold showers out of like 5-gallon buckets outside all summer long until the house was built. And yeah, Mom worked with Dad for a while as a carpenter, which I think is pretty darn cool. And yeah, my dad has 2 kids as well. Who, oh gosh, I did math. Lissy is 14 and a half, Sissy 15, 24. So my sister and brother on my dad's side are twins, and they would be 24 years older than me. So
Oh, wow.
they were like late teenagers, and I think both of them ended up staying with my mom and dad in Hopkinton when they were, I think they're teenagers in high school. But like things didn't go very well, and they ended up going. My sister went off to the service, and my brother just moved out. But I never really ended up super close to them because
Yeah, age.
he's huge age difference.
Do you see them a lot, the 3 siblings?
No, so unfortunately, when I was 3, my brother passed away,
Oh.
and my sister really had a hard time emotionally after, and hasn't really been the same since
Yeah.
in the situation. So I hear from her once in a great while. She's a diver out in Key West.
Oh, wow.
I know, crazy.
So kind of following the.
Totally crazy.
Was that your? That was your.
half sister on my dad's side.
Oh, okay, so she kind of followed your dad's footsteps,
Totally.
being a water child.
Yep. And then my sister on my mom's side, I talk to her regularly. She lives out in Massachusetts now. She is like the most normal, which almost makes her weird. She and her husband are both psychologists, and doing big things in the world, white picket fence, all that good jazz. But not the rest of us.
I was gonna say, so my, I mean, I think I met you. I'm trying to think when I actually met you. I think I met you up at camp.
Yes.
That was
we
the first
put a
time.
roof up.
Well, I held the roof in place.
That's okay. I held that ladder in place pretty well too.
Yeah, so I was very limited, but I remember I met you obviously through Adam, and I think he had described, I think when you guys first kind of met, and he was talking about you, I didn't know who you were, and everything he was saying, I'm just sitting there in my head, I'm like, oh my god, like it's literally like he found a mirror image of him of the opposite sex, and then when I ended up meeting you a little bit, like I kind of like got the glimpse of it, like everything he said was pretty much spot on, and having known you since, probably a little better now, because we've actually talked more than we did back then, and you just reaffirm everything that I've kind of found out, like you're very, like I think you're almost like,
Crazy. Don't call me split personalities here, Galen.
No. Like your personality is the same. Your day to day, it's like you go from like, it's almost like you're like Superman goes from like business attire that throws the cape on.
Yeah.
You're like dressed super professionally, probably one of the most, I guess, best dressed young professionals that I know. Well, I mean, I
wouldn't go that far, but
for the most part, like you're one that you could like wear a nice suit or skirt or whatever and look good, and then like a couple hours later you're in shit kickers and overalls and you change like, and to be honest, you probably have all of them in your truck, like we talked about. You probably have a little bit of everything. So you're very dynamic, I should say, dynamic young professional. But I think now, kind of hearing your backstory, I get it.
Yes.
Like it's not like where the heck did she come from? Like, oh, actually, I'm surprised how she got here. Kind of.
Yeah.
I figured you'd be jumping off the Key West with your sister there. So, did you ever go fishing out there? Like,
no, I haven't.
Like you've never been like Dad never took you out watering?
So Dad, unfortunately, my dad's had a lot of health problems like since I was born. So he hadn't been able to go sailing, and I mean we enjoyed the local things, but I mean between that and just work, I mean my dad's on his own business. Let's see, 14 to 70. I don't know. Do the math on that.
Your dad's in the 70s now?
Yeah, he's in his early 70s. And
Wow.
he just finally retired.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do a side gig now.
Yeah, exactly. But he's still doing the carpentry, and that's that was his gig for.
Yep. So he built houses. He started out just doing like little stuff because he literally started his business at 14 years old, building a root cellar for somebody.
Wow.
Which was super cool. And anyway, it extended into more and more, and he ended up building developments in Florida before he went sailing. Yeah. So he would do he was the GC and had several crews that would come in. So he had like the framing crew, he had the electrical crew, he had the painting crew, all that stuff. and he would build like entire developments in super short time because he'd just send one crew to the next, to the next, to the next, and he'd have a house in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. And then he took it back here, and he did more custom homes. His specialty was like the kitchens and baths, and he worked on a lot of the, like not the huge crazy things, but like the small multi-million-dollar mansions. He would do like kitchen and baths in there, but like all the ones that are really, really, really far in the sticks in like western St. Lawrence County or on the way to and in Saranac Lake area. So it wasn't like the classic Lake Placid stuff.
Mhm.
He used to be like we're going so far out, and he would do some pretty good job. So
I think that's like, I think about where we live now, like Plattsburgh, if you go, obviously the northern, very top of the air of New York State, like Plattsburgh's the most populous area.
yeah.
I would think, or very darn close to it. But it, like as you start going out to like the Adirondacks, like I never really grew up in that. I have no friends that like now that have come, like you, Adam, even like Ellie and Brittany and stuff. That like they lived like out in the sticks, and like it was funny because I mean every once in a while you'd have to drive out there for stuff, but I never was really a Western New York kind of guy. So I've driven like out, basically I'm talking like Route 11 down, was it 37, like nothing like extravagant, but I mean there's times we'd like play some of these schools in soccer. Now granted we were playing at Plattsburgh or Potsdam,
Okay.
but like you would get these kids and like they would like show up and like where the hell is that location? And then you like Google it and it's never like one school. It's like two towns merged to make a school to have enough kids to like have a class. And I always just found it funny. And then all of a sudden I'm like, Colton Pierpont. I got a buddy from Colton Pierpont. Now you from Parrishville, right? Parrishville, Hopkinton.
Yeah, Parrishville, Hopkinton's where I went to my school.
But like you're from Hopkinton though, not Parrishville.
So
like how does that work? Is there two separate towns?
yeah, there's two towns.
Because we have like E-Town and Lewis we always play, which was technically two towns.
Yep. So it was two separate towns. But I mean, in fact, we're political here of the North Country. So Parrishville and Hopkinton merged to make that school. But like for example, my sister graduated there, and her graduating class was in 25. Mine would have been in the low 40s if everyone graduated, which I mean, like everybody graduates pretty soon. So, but it was so much. Like it was pre-K through 12 in the same building. Just struggle to keep enough people to, from a financial standpoint, keep the school going. So they actually started looking at merging and making a new school. Colton Pierpont, who was our rivals, which not gonna happen. They were even smaller. They were almost half the size.
Wow.
And they wanted to merge Colton and Parrishville together. And those schools, I think, I want to say Colton Pierpont's like two towns plus another like half a town. Like South Colton's technically, there's South Colton, Pierpont area. So it was only 5 towns. The bus routes, I think they said the reason why they couldn't figure out where to do it is because they didn't want to put the school because the bus route would have been like an hour and a half long.
That's crazy.
Could you imagine? School starts at 7.
Well, I think St. Lawrence County is the largest by geographics in New York State. Because like we take like NAC up here, Northern Adirondack. I mean, like the bus route, you have kids in like Ellenburg Depot, and then they got to travel all the way up to Ellenburg. Which, if anybody knows that route, that's not like you're talking 20 minutes, but you're talking like 20 miles just to get to school. Of course, I went to Shazy, which is very similar in size to those schools, but like I grew up a mile from the school, so like to me, like it was actually kind of funny. Like I was the last kid picked up. I say last kid, one of the last like 2 or 3 kids picked up. So our bus route to school was less than 10 minutes. Coming home though, we still follow the same path, so it would be like an hour ride to get back home. Yeah, so that kind of sucked. But as I got older, I could walk home. Like I take the bus in the morning, but I'd like walk home in the evening, or afternoon, so I'd be home by 3 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock. So, but yeah, I mean, there's not. It's small out there. Like it's very rural.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that truly, I have yet to find a more in that part of St. Lawrence County. Where I grew up is probably one of the most remote roads that has anyone living there full time that I know. Like I took Adam out there and he had this like concept of where he grew up and he had neighbors and things like that. But like it was a very remote area, but he still had neighbors. He saw where I grew up and he's like, oh my god, like I kid you not.
How far were we off the main road?
Anywhere between 5 and 7 miles.
Wow.
So I couldn't even ride the school bus because the road stopped.
Can you Google map your house? Can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah, bring this up if
Oh
you
my
can.
gosh.
This is a thing that I want to. We gotta get better at because I've been doing my phone, so I don't have it, but I gotta have my computer because the last one we were on too. There's a couple things that came up. And I call it fact checking. We gotta check facts or make sure that we're not just saying something bullshit that we know that's
Well,
we
then
think
you
is
might
right.
wanna fact check all of me because I'm pretty good bullshitter.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, I mean, I guess we'll. That will lead us into your new. You're not a bullshitter on this. I'm sure you do really good. But I was just thinking because garbage and shit, works out. So Nicole is the trash lady,
I am the trash lady.
and which is funny because, like I said, you're very professional, but then you have the background where you can, like I said, you can talk trash. So
I sure can.
so let people know what your current role is and kind of what you do on a daily basis. But I want to see where your house is while you're talking. So.
Okay, so that pinpoint is me. You can see where the road is.
I'm basically looking at a big thing of green. It's a forest.
It's
Nicole actually doesn't have a house. She just lives in the woods.
Oh goodness. So yes, I am the trash lady. I do the commercial and industrial work for Plattsburgh up to the border in Canada. Yeah, I do really interesting stuff. I mean, I do a lot of the regular, like taking all my garbage and my recycling and what is recycling and that kind of stuff. But I also do a lot of really, really in-depth industrial stuff, like big equipment sales and trying to just improve the process that they have for their trash, which is really exciting for me. I do also a lot of random, like I have 58 tons of bubble bath. Do you know how I can get rid of this?
Oh, somebody told you this.
Yeah, I need it. So we get a lot of random things that people need to get rid of in high quantities. But yeah. Very exciting.
Wait, where's your actual house? Sorry, is that like part of the 100 acres? There's no house on that pinpoint.
All right.
So
Hang on, let me find the road.
that's fine. So do your thing. So you're in the commercial sales department area. So one thing I have a question on. So commercial sales, how does it differ than residential? Meaning, I know like residential, like I have bins from Casella.
Yeah.
But you guys, and I know it's obviously business related, but is there certain sizes? I know people grab, you have the actual trash. I say not bin. What would be the big like the one right outside here? What's that called?
A dumpster.
A dumpster. Jesus. Okay. Again, my brain's kind of fried right now. But so you have a dumpster, but so would that be classified under the commercial division, or would that be residential?
That'd be commercial. So you can even have like the containers that you have at your home. They're called toters. It's just the brand that makes them, but they're all the same size, so we call them toters. There is commercial service with toters. Like all your folks on Margaret Street probably aren't going to be able to fit a dumpster back there, but they also aren't going to bring it curbside. It just it doesn't
Like the monopole's not gonna throw it out front or sandwich,
Exactly.
yeah.
So they do, we do like backdoor service for them and walk-up service, whatever you want to call it. And we do provide them containers if they can fit them. Some of them has to be bulk, which we're trying to get away from, which is like, we'd actually have to hand pick stuff in tight areas like that. We do the commercial dumpsters, so you have 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 10-yard dumpsters.
Wow. 10 yards?
Mm-hmm.
What companies have those?
Hmm.
Huh? No, what companies though? I know you run that, but like what company like?
Just you might have like a really big apartment complex that would have it.
Okay.
Sometimes restaurants might have a 10-yard container.
10 yards. That's big.
But some people can fit.
They fill it up pretty quick, like
I have
weekly,
restaurants that have
bi-weekly.
An 8-yard, which just because the 10 yards hard to fill. Like a regular restaurant in town, nothing outlandish, but like stuff here on Route 3 in Plattsburgh, who might have 4 pickups on an 8-yard a week for trash only, and then 2 pickups of a recycling container. On top of that.
Can you, when it comes to recycling, you have the recycling bin, you have the trash bin. When you throw stuff in the recycling bin, you don't have to sort stuff anymore, right?
Correct. So it's zero sort, but the recycling materials are zero sort. Like a lot of people think you can put that trash in with the recycling.
But like a recycling, like boxes and cans and bottles and things like that can all go in the same.
Yep. So
Egg cartons.
It's actually really cool. So I kind of geek out over like.
Because Josh told me about this, who works with you, and he was trying to explain it, but I'm always like, when I grew up, I like rinsed out everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that, right?
Or we
Oh.
take it.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
Like
So
spaghetti,
I
like
would-
spaghetti jars and stuff.
Yeah, I would still be like, if there's schmutz on it, I don't want it. It's just gonna go in the trash because.
Oh, so you guys really won't, like, it isn't just like processed down?
No, when it goes to the facility, it'll usually end up getting trash or pulled out.
So do you have people physically there sorting?
It's a combination. So there's I'm still trying to find my house by the way. You're like it's that far out. I'm still scrolling. Oh, maybe. No. We're good. No.
There's like no geographical landmark.
Like you
You'd be
need
like,
to look for the swamp with the pond.
this is incredible. And your parents still live there?
No, we had to sell the house. It was just my dad and I that lived out there. Maybe. Nope, we're gonna go.
How long ago did you guys sell it?
We sold it when I was 14 or 15 maybe. So when I was 12, we lived so far out that like, if you can believe this, my dad left for work at 6:30 in the morning. I was at school with my mom that night, and Dad left for work at 6:30 in the morning, came back for lunch at 11, and the whole house had burnt down and no one ever noticed. The entire house was gone. Yep.
Wow.
And I mean, it was just so remote, no one was ever going to see
Do
it.
people know you lived out there?
Yeah, I mean, they knew they lived out there, but like, people aren't gonna
Were there
check
people
it.
on your road? No, I mean not that aspect, but like were there people that lived on your road, or was your road just a 5 mile long nothing?
No, there were definitely people on the road. There was a maintained section. Oh, I was sitting backwards. That's why I couldn't find it. So there were people that lived there year round, like on a paved ending on the Hopkinton side of it, and then the rest of it that went all the way out into the sticks, like kind of closer to Parrishville, was all hunting camps. In fact, we cut off parcels of our land and like sublet some of it to some folks for hunting and
Wow.
and built some hunting camps out on our property too for friends. All right, I'm just going the other way again.
Okay, so we'll keep talking. We'll keep doing
Yeah.
this. So the other thing I wanted, you said you haven't drove the truck, right? The trash truck.
I haven't driven it yet. I don't have a CDL.
Are you working to get that so you can drive?
I want to.
Or is that just kind of like just something that'd be super fun to do?
No, I really want to. Okay, so that's my house. This road back here is actually a road that we made, and these are the camps that we had built in the back. My house was in the front of the pond next.
Adirondack Park was the road, or no?
No, when it's an unnamed road in the middle of the woods,
They just
call
call
it Adirondack Park.
Oh my God.
True story.
So you've been to those camps, the ones you built back there?
Yeah, my dad built them. It was actually going to be my brother's house. I mean, you gotta figure it was originally over 100 acres.
God.
Yeah, that was gonna be his next door neighbor house.
What's all this right here?
Swamp. It's probably my best fishing skills, or frogging. Dad taught me to frog.
So you guys had the pond?
Yep, Dad built the pond.
Oh, okay.
It was a stream that went through, and he just dug it out, and we stocked it with fish so we could.
So how big? What's that? The garage?
Yep, his garage and workshop. Wow, this has gotta be since. Oh yeah, that's the house we built. So the house burnt down, and we ended up rebuilding the house, which was kind of cool. You know, as a young kid, to get to rebuild the house with my dad, but it was just too much to stay out there and have to rebuild it generator every winter.
So Santamore was your road? Santamont. So you would drive out this way
Yeah.
to get to like civilization.
It's still civilized out there, Galen.
How far were you from like school?
25
Parrishville.
minutes?
Okay. Parrishville.
Yeah, sticks. I'm telling you.
So Potsdam. There you go.
Yeah, there is civilization nearby. I used to have to go shopping. The only shopping that you could have when I was growing up, at least, was the Walmart in Messina. There wasn't one in between Potsdam and Canton. So we used to have to drive almost an hour to Walmart for all of our shopping, or 30 minutes or so into Potsdam, if you just needed groceries. It's pretty remote. And I'm in the big city living in Plattsburgh.
Yeah, I guess so. You moved on out.
It's a big city for me.
Okay, so I don't know a lot, but then you have so Potsdam. So Clarkson's right there too.
Yeah, Clarkson's right in Potsdam.
I don't think I've ever been to Clarkson. Where's St. Lawrence? Is that?
It's in Canton, the next town over if you go west.
Oh, there we are. Okay. See, I know the names like Governor Edwards. Is there a school called Edward Knox? Edward Knox.
Knox.
Edward
Yeah.
Knox. You always call it Knox.
Knox.
Edward Knox.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Is it? Where's Knox? Is that really a place?
It is a place.
Herman DeKalb?
Oh yeah. Big city of DeKalb.
Man, there was some buttes out there. There's some funny names. We should just make fun of them all, but yeah. So we would go to Ogdensburg. That's about as far as we went. Hewleton's way out there. Is it Harrisville or Harrisville?
Yeah, there's a Harrisville and a Harrisville.
I think Harrisville is as far out as you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, right down there.
Ooh.
Like Harrisville, it's almost a Fort Drum. It's like 20 minutes from Fort Drum, Indian River. So we played them before too, and they had like travel up, and
Oh yeah.
I felt bad because we sorry here you go. So I felt bad because they ended up coming up for soccer and we beat them like 10-0, and I was like, God, you kind of felt bad for them because like it's almost one where you just like you made it that far, but you almost want to just call up and be like, okay, like we're good. We gotta we don't want to travel 6 hours today.
Oh.
But so you don't drive a garbage truck, but the other thing cool about you is you do drive a truck.
I do drive a truck.
That's new.
It is new.
Which I found out when you were going to buy a truck. I kind of thought it was funny, but then I realized that that's kind of like the natural progression of your. So why'd you get a truck?
Well, okay, so I used to drive. I called it the tiny toy car.
Okay.
But it was a Subaru Impreza Sport, so it had like a hatchback.
Mhm.
But I drive some months with my old territory, not as much now, but still I drive thousands of miles a month. I live for like 35, 40 minutes from Plattsburgh as it is,
Mhm.
and that's south of my territory. So like my first meeting of the day might be an hour and a half drive to get to, and I drive all day in my personal vehicle.
That's right, because you go all the way to the border.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally, like most of my meetings, my first meetings will be right at the border too.
Wow.
So.
So you just work your way back home.
I usually stay in a town. We have customers in each town that, for the most part, I can stay in a town for the full day.
Gotcha.
But you're doing a lot of driving in between, and the car, number one, the car didn't work out because it was so low to the ground, and I drive
Mhm.
unpaved parking lots all winter,
Yeah.
or unplowed parking lots,
Yeah.
so that didn't work. And then, wasn't a very good family vehicle because we have small horses for dogs. So
3 of them.
3 mini ponies.
Yes, they're big.
So we couldn't fit them and us and the kids in the car, and I had been in so many almost accidents with like all-wheel drive, and I'm not the best driver, but I'm absolutely a well-trained driver. My dad had gotten a CDL and like made me go through the CDL defensive driving course, and like I had to do a backward sliding figure 8 on ice at night around lake poles before I could get my license.
This was your father doing this for you.
He
Or was
made
this
me-
was yes, but this wasn't like a legal test thing. This was like back roads.
No, this was like, Daddy, don't sign off until you can do this.
Kind of like earn your stripes kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay. But this was done like privately on the side.
Yes. but
Okay.
then
Because I don't think I've ever had to like I've had
No.
anybody ever say that.
Oh no, and then I ended up taking my driving test in an ice storm.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect parallel park was the reason I still got it. But so like I'm not the worst driver, and I just putting thousands of miles on a month, I was just in so much frustration and too many almost accidents with just the bad weather. So I wanted 4-wheel drive, and then like you can get an SUV. Dude, I don't want a mom-mobile. Like
Yeah.
I don't want a mom-mobile.
I've secretly always wanted the truck. I think I will get one at some point. Do I need one? Probably not, but there's a lot of practicality to it.
Get 3 dogs, and then you have the.
Well,
excuse.
I'm not gonna get 3 dogs. So I actually thank you guys the other day for not allowing the dogs in because I would have died. But
I know, I don't.
I went up to Nicole's house for day before St. Patrick's Day.
Pre-St. Patty's Day.
Pre-St. Patty's Day. But we drank Guinness and ate corned beef and cabbage,
We
and
did.
it was about as Irish as you could get up in the Forks. So
I was pretty impressed.
it was good. I actually had a good time. I was glad I went up. So no, I think the truck is something I would like to get at some point. There's always a couple. I'm not a big car guy, but now that I've grown up a little bit, like we have 2 cars. One's a Volkswagen, which is way nicer than I have a Honda. Volkswagen, like
No comparison.
no, it drives so smooth, and that's my wife's car, so I don't get to drive that. I mean, I do, but it's not my day-to-day car. But if like a truck would be sweet, just because I'm the same way. Like we go in unplowed areas, on the road. I mean, could be a couple hours a day, depending on how many appointments or where they are. So part of it is like I haven't got to the point yet where I've really splurged on the vehicle because I'm kind of like I'm very, I got other things that take precedence kind of, but like in the back of my mind, I think I'm about a year or 2 away. Like I really want to just see if I can get like a nice truck, just because I don't need it, but practicality and just something we always had a truck when we were growing up. My dad always had one, so I've always I probably will. I talk about it. I probably will at some point. I'll talk myself into getting one, but it's just gonna be cool.
It's a very different experience, especially because you have rear wheel drive, so you have to kind of.
Well, it's an all-wheel drive.
No, you will in a truck though.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
So it took me just a couple days to refigure out how not to slide. But I mean, it's nice. Like, I live on the side of a little hill that's full of ice all the time, and I never have to push my car out of it now.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. Like I said, I saw you rolling into the chamber, and I looked at it, and I was thinking it was like one of the garbage dude. Like there's a guy that does like the commercial service, like the cleaning, and then there's a couple other people that like. I was thinking it was one of those guys rolling, and all of a sudden like I look up and there's like Nicole. Gives him a wave going in. I'm like, oh, I forgot she got a truck. So it looked good. It's you sit very high. Very, you're high off the ground. Yeah.
I'm a lady driving a truck, and then I get to like walk into businesses, and I'm like, hey, focus up. I'm your trash lady.
Yeah. Your truck's nice too. So I think it's a cool. I think that's cool. The other thing that people, I think I knew about it because you told me about it, but you have, which nobody would notice, is you do have tattoos.
I do.
How many? Where are they? Because obviously I know you have multiple, and I can only see half of one. So,
word.
So you've kept most of them covered, like from a professional aspect.
Yeah. So that was like my favorite trick when I was recruiting for ETS, because I recruited for a lot of like mid-level management and professional roles, where it wouldn't be appropriate to show any tattoos or anything like that. So if I wore a suit when I was ready to work, the jeans were not a thing. And nobody ever saw them. I have a half sleeve, I've got some on my legs, my hips, my feet.
Like back ribs, things like that.
I don't have any in my back. I'll save the back piece. We'll see if I ever get there. But
do you want to add to the collection?
I want to finish my half sleeve.
Like all the way down the arm, or just to the elbow?
So I have the front side done, and I have to finish like the little cap off, and then the underneath of my arm, because it's actually one full piece that goes together. I just haven't got it finished yet. But all right, most of my tattoos, like, and I have tattoos in hard places. Like I have my whole hip bones covered in. I have my sternum done, which are like two of the hard places.
They hurt
really bad.
Yeah.
And I sat for most of those sessions would be 4 hours a piece. She did my arm. I was like, oh, it's my arm. It's gonna be fine. It's no big deal. I sat for 7 hours. Like
that one right there.
Yes.
Wow. And one sitting. Wow.
One sitting. I was a sassy lady, and so she was like, oh, you want to go finish the inside? Absolutely not.
I'm surprised she could like stay awake that long. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Because you gotta think you'd hope she's focusing the whole time.
Oh yeah, she was excellent. But that's partly why I literally just couldn't sit any longer. And I'm gonna sit okay. I'm not great about it. Obviously, tattoos don't feel fantastic because I was cutting for 7 hours. So after a while, it doesn't feel super awesome. But I'm gonna get the inside finished. But I went all the way up to Montreal for it, so I gotta go find it go around.
Would you add color to it? You like the dark black and white?
So
you say black and white, but just
black and gray. This one I'll probably keep just black and gray. All the other tattoos, no, my feet are just black and gray, but they're just like outlines. All the other ones are color, and I feel like getting all my first tattoos were all color, and I don't really like color now that I have. Again, just series of dumb decisions.
When did you get your first one?
17.
Was that before or after New Zealand?
That one was after New Zealand.
Okay.
So I got my first one there, and I got a couple more in Potsdam. The ones.
Oh, you got your first in New Zealand?
No, I got my first right after I had gotten back. I wasn't old enough because I was 17. I was trying to get one in New Zealand, and they wouldn't do it because it wasn't at home. You would need to be 18 to do it. And I kind of lied to my tattoo artist when I got it at home. I was like almost 18, and whatever. But yeah, so I got a bunch at home, like in a big spurt when I first started college, and then I kind of petered it out a little bit, and I got my feet done. I went to Alaska for.
Do you have a lot on your feet, or is it just like little?
Just little ones, because I literally just I just got a little symbol on my foot just to say I got a tattoo in Alaska. And then the guy's like, well, I have to charge you a minimum of $50, so like, do you want anything else while I'm at it?
Oh, so just add something else?
I was like, yeah, just put a tree on my other foot while you're at it. Whatever.
Yeah, souvenir.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I did those, and then I really haven't done anything since my arm, which I got done just a couple years ago. I have 0 tattoos. So what for like?
how long does it take you to figure out what? Are you pretty spontaneous? Like I want that, or do you think about it? What I was told, I have heard. I don't know if this is a good way of going about it, but you're supposed to like, if you have a tattoo, kind of like get the design and like hang it up, like bathroom mirror or someplace where you're gonna see it every day for like a year. And if you still want it, go with it. But
I'm spontaneous.
so you're just more like that looks cool. I want that.
My first, oh my gosh, I don't remember what order I got my tattoos in. Remember my first one? So I actually got two together as my first ones on my hips. Like both hips are two separate pieces, but they were done together. And those were like meaningful, blah blah blah. And I don't know. I don't remember what my next one was. Maybe my sternum, maybe my leg. I can't remember. But then I got two more, and I got really big pieces at once, so they ended up being a significant portion. I was accustomed to seeing my body tattooed, which was probably the most odd experience. It wasn't what I got, it was that I was no longer going to see that part of my body again. And once I got over that, the need to have meaningful crap stopped. Like it just, then I was like, oh, this looks cool, I'll go get it.
Yeah, so you're more if I like it, I'm just gonna get it. It doesn't have to have like a really background, but like I mean, it does have meaning because you like the look, appearance of it. But
well, I read somewhere that like the first one takes you a year or so to decide, and then the next 2 to 5 might take you a month or two to decide, and then after that, nobody gives a hoot. Just give me a tattoo. Like when we were in Mexico a couple of weeks ago, I almost got a tattoo, but our boat was leaving, and I was like dead set. I really wanted to get another tattoo. It's like how cool it'd be to be like, oh yeah, I've been tattooed in Alaska, Mexico, wherever the countries I go.
That'd be kind of cool. It's kind of like it's like a passport book.
My friend has his passport stamps of all the countries he's been to tattooed on his arm.
That's pretty cool.
I think so, but he doesn't have them tattooed in those countries. That would be even cooler. But
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm always kind of like fascinated when people have tattoos because like you've met Ellie. She's got a bunch.
Really?
A ton.
I didn't know
A
that.
ton. I've never. I mean, I think I've seen one.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's all like you would never know that she had Brittany. Same thing. They bunch. Like they're both the same. They have a bunch of them, and I think they're cool. Like I think like I've seen like Instagram will like follow every once in a while. I'll follow people that do tattoos because they just like it's
cool.
like a cool work of art and stuff. But I'm always in my head. I'm like if I ever got one, which to be honest, the odds I get one are very slim because I've just never really wanted one. But like I don't know what I'd want because like I like that. Like I like the simplicity of stuff.
Yeah.
I like it as extreme as like the big, like really big, elaborate, like colorful ones, which I think are just like really beautiful.
Yeah.
But I even like as odd enough, like just the like small squiggle things that might be like I've seen people with like on their arms, just like a random like almost like a memo of different things. You know what I mean? Like hey, I was here, there. So they might even have just like a random date on their arm, or you know something or like a location, like you've seen like the latitude longitude line or the symbols. Yeah, so a lot of those I think I would be more apt to get the simple little just like designs versus like a big piece. But again, I would really have to like I don't know. I say that again. Like you said, it might take me like 5 years to get my first, and then the rest of them would be whatever. That looks cool, throw it on. But so I haven't ever committed to that. I think there's like some cool aspect to it, but of course in my head I just think that I'm always going to just change and adapt, and I won't want it. But I don't know. But I think it's same thing with everything you do. You just even though maybe 10 years from now you're a little different, you look back at it and it's just become a part of you. It's like a stepping stone in your in your journey as a human.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's kind of I think it's cool. I don't want to commit to anything because I've never really had the urge to get a tattoo, but I do find tattoos pretty cool so far on other people. Like I like looking at them, but
I love them, and they are definitely a part of your personality. It is, like I said, it is very odd when you do get big tattoos to realize you're never going to see that part of your body the same way again.
Yeah, that would probably be the freak.
It was really freaky. It was. Like, when I got my leg done, because I have, like, my other thigh done, or a big chunk of my thigh done, it's like, oh my god. Like, I'm looking at this and it's totally So, I don't know, it was odd. The only thing that, like, I don't regret any of my tattoos. There's definitely some where I'm like, oh god, but, the only one I regret is I have one that I can't wear certain clothes without seeing, and I like that I can hide all of my tattoos.
Did you try to do that when you were picking out spots?
Purposefully.
Okay.
Because I just, like I didn't know where I was going to go in life professionally, and I didn't
Makes
want to
sense.
be stuck. Which is funny now because like I found my job, and like I remember the first day I put on a polo at Casella, and I'm in commercial sales. Like you've got different types of customers. You're gonna see wildly different ranges, but there's a portion of that audience that's not expecting to see you in a tattoo. Or see the truck that you drive up in a truck. So you've got to like calm down the weirdness a little bit. And I had to wear a polo, super hot day, and I was so embarrassed to go to my job. And I was red in the face walking in.
Because nobody knew you had a tattoo.
No. But
and it's not a bad tattoo. Like it actually is a cool design. Like the one that you can see.
Like, profanity or anything like that, or naked girls or anything. But I really went into my boss and I was like, and he was like, what? And I'm like, I don't think I can go see customers today. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm sorry, I have a tattoo. And he laughed and he goes, did you miss that people have them all the way down to their fingers on the way in?
Yeah, that's just true. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, I don't, be proud. My boss is so relaxed.
So have you gotten over that? Is it still like a stigma in your head that you gotta have? Because I look at stuff now.
Yeah.
The amount of people that I see with tattoos and nose rings and piercings and like 10, 15 years ago, that was like very taboo. Like you didn't wear piercings, you didn't, you don't have an eye tattoo or an eye piercing. You didn't have these things, but then now I kind of look at it like it just seems common. Like I don't. To me, I'm one that like the style of dress. I think even in the future, like the style of dress is going to change. Like when I started my career, like of course I was young, so I was like shirt, I wore a tie.
Yeah.
Like.
Super pressed.
Stupid. Like I didn't know what I was doing. So like now I've gotten to the point where like I'm still like semi-dressed. Like I wore this today, like, but I wasn't meeting anybody. Like in the winter, I wear a jacket.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked about this before. Like I could pretty much wear anything underneath because the only time I'm ever gonna really see clients. Like did I have a couple people walk in today that I talked to? Yes, but I'm not dressed like ratty. It's just I'm not wearing like a collared shirt or anything like that. So summers I like would wear polo. I usually wear like a button-down shirt once jacket season's kind of over, but I've found that I've more lax. I start to wear more jeans now. I even wear like in the winter. I've been wearing these. I love them. They're like a sneaker, but they're kind of like a warmer sneaker instead of wearing dress shoes because I either wear boots and they're great, or I wear dress shoes and I slip all over the place. So like these are kind of like. So that's my only problem. Like I'll wear dress shoes. Like I look semi-decent most of the year, but there's times where I'm like, or days where I'm more in like the office and I might meet a few people. Like I'm dressed a little less formal, but I think that's going to become more common. It already has. Obviously 10, 15 years from now, we're going to look at like, oh my God, I can't, like you're probably going to say, I can't believe I wore this outfit. And maybe, I don't know, but I think there's going to be an evolution in style because people I don't think care as much. I think I'm one, like as long as you can do your job or good at what you do, I don't care really what you look like.
Well, and I don't disagree with that by any means either. I think it's hard though because there's a level of, if you are customer facing in any way, shape or form, whatever job you do, if there's not a level of professionalism, now I don't care if you're in jeans, but if your jeans have holes in them and look like you have creases behind your knees like you've worn them 17 times, like that affects my first impression of someone. So I think there is a way that maybe you take care of the clothes that you wear perhaps, but it's hard. I think for me I've always been in a sales type position, and especially like when I first started I was always in suits. Like almost every single day I'm in a suit. And you put on a suit and it's like, you look good, you feel good, there's that boost of confidence, like you're just gonna go out and kill it today. But like when I put on a pair of jeans and throw on my winter jacket and my shit kickers for work because I'm going to stand out in 40 below weather outside, I don't necessarily feel the same boost of confidence. Proud of what I do for work, but like it doesn't give me the oomph that a pair of heels does. So,
no, I agree. I feel better when I'm dressed up, suit jacket, and my button-down shirt. Like I feel, I don't need a tie, but like do I feel more professional and authoritative? Yeah. Do I look more authoritative if I'm like at a group setting and people see me dressed that way versus maybe how I am now where I'm kind of more like relaxed? Certainly, I'm the same as you. Do I put this on in the morning and feel more kind of like a laid back day? 100% versus like days that I'm like probably dressing up because I have a few meetings to meet with people. every morning I get dressed. I don't just randomly grab clothes. Like in the sense of like I know my schedule and I dress according to my schedule.
Yes, I do the same.
Okay, so I think like I think that's still part of it. Like still in my head, I have like, okay, am I meeting new clients today? Am I going to a listing appointment? Am I going to an after hours? Am I going to a presentation? I will change how I dress. Like today, I met with a couple clients, but I had my jacket on it showing. Like I had
Right.
my jeans look, they're nicer jeans than like these baggy, ratty like jeans I wear on the weekends. Like, so I do, and I'm assuming, like you said, you're the same way. Because obviously, you're very, like you're usually very well dressed when I see you. I mean, obviously you can have, some days where you kind of dress down, but when you dress up, you look very professional. More so, like you wear suits and things like that. Like, to be honest, I don't even own a suit. I always do a suit jacket with like I mix it. I do have to buy some suits, but I've never been a big like. I've gotten better. My style has gotten a little better as I've gotten older. I got some friends that are a little more. I got one of my buddies who's actually a pretty good dressed guy that will give me pointers on fashion.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, so I gotta get better at it. But what's like, I don't know. Do you like dressing up?
I do. I guess I'm always tired, especially like with my job now, because oh my gosh, I try to pick similar types of businesses that I'll go see in an area if it's dense enough to, just to save on some of the miles and make more time out of my day, because it's so hard. Like if I just picked what was close in proximity, I could go from a hospital to a hotel to a car dealership to the farm. Like you can't go from mock boots. Oh, and industrial facility where I need steel toes and a hard hat. Like the amount of outfits I have to put on in a day, and I like dressing up, but it doesn't feel good to stand in front of a customer and have them feel awkward for how you are dressed. Like,
Either overdressed or underdressed.
oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
Either way.
Yep.
So I usually try to pair it to who I'm seeing that
Yep.
day, or have a couple like today. Like I had a blazer on, and obviously in a t-shirt and jeans here, but I just had a blazer on, and because I was going into a couple nicer businesses and a nice pair of boots on. But then for the rest of the day, I was in my just zip up jacket for work. So.
Do you, like if in your car, how many shoes do you have in your car? You have a hard hat in your car. I know
I
that.
do have a hard hat.
Okay, so I know you had that. Now you have, how many shoes do you have, or forms of footwear, and then how many outfits do you bring in a day? Because obviously you talked about you had a blazer, now you're down, and then you had your zip up, now you're on kind of like a semi, like, I call it kind of like a dress t-shirt. You know, like it's not logoed out and all, like, you know, it's like you could get by with that shirt. So, like, what do you have for shoes and what do you have for outfits on a daily basis? Like in a week, do you bring multiple outfits in a day with you and just change kind of on, like, in the car or on the road?
I usually try to have a few things. Like I always try to have my steel toes and my hard hat and my high vis vest, but just because like you can end up on a construction site a lot or in a manufacturing site where if you walk in with steel toed boots to a manufacturing site and the person doesn't have to give you those clappers when you walk to the facility and tell them you're galloping,
I've done that before. Yep.
makes a world of a difference to that conversation with that person.
Yeah.
Whether you're current customer or not, it's just win some points. So I try to keep all of that at all times, and then depending on the day, I'll usually have a pair of dress shoes and a pair of my winter boots, which I wear clogs in the winter, which boots, but honestly,
They're warm.
Warm
Yep,
and waterproof. And clothes-wise, it's hard and really hard in the winter because, like you said, you wear a jacket. I might bring two jackets, like a dress jacket and my regular winter jacket when I'm outside. But I usually try to do an outfit like I did today, where like I can swap out different jackets, or like have a quarter zip over a button up, so I can rip off the quarter zip if I need to be in the button up and put the quarter zip back on. Or there's a lot of changing in the truck.
I find that from a professional setting, like women are there's more. I think because there's more expected in female fashion, but then I also think there's more styles to female fashion. I also think I get away, like I probably have 4 or 5 sets of shoes that I could probably change into on a given, like not now. The only thing I carry is I have a pair of winter boots that like go down like 40 degrees. Like one of those I wore yesterday just because of the high snow, because we do go to some vacant homes, things like that. But usually I have my shoes set for the day, and I usually will wear them depending on if I have a lot of showings. I wear shoes without laces so I can slip in and out. You know, so that's a big thing. So I don't have to keep untying and tying. If I know that I even know the house I'm going into. it's a vacant home, I've been there before, I don't really need to take my shoes off, I'll wear laces because I know maybe I'm going to some kind of event in the evening that those are nicer shoes or more kind of like biz casual. But in the same token, like where's I going with that? We talked about this. What was the shoes? But what was the other thing that I was saying with? Dress code. So like me, I have the shoes, and then I wear a variation of either like dressier jeans or khakis or dress pants, and then a like button-down shirt or a sweater or something. So like the style doesn't really change much for a guy. Like we can kind of get away. Where like I find girls like even just like dressing up. You're talking like khakis or blouse or skirts or dresses or business suits or dress jeans. There seems to be more. Like a guy doesn't have a skirt and a dress into something else. Like a girl, like we would have khakis and
You
jeans.
don't have skirts?
I don't. I got rid of them. But like the khakis and the jeans. But like you guys have like khakis, jeans, and then you have other styles.
Not to mention the color pants too.
And the color pants, because I'm.
Are they capri or are they full length?
Let's see. My thing. They're always full length and they're very neutral. They're very earthy tones. But I do actually have a couple like brighter shorts, but not like nothing crazy. But so I'm always like, I always find that it's harder for females to pull off looks because there's more expected of them, and like you said, especially if you're kind of like a chameleon throughout your day, which I think you are because you kind of deal with the public. But I think there's a lot to be said about how you present yourself in certain clientele.
Yes.
Because I do the same thing if I'm going, depending on where I kind of know. I don't know. It's just kind of like a internal thing in my head. I'm like, okay, dress this way, dress that way. If I know the people or don't know the people, if it's something where I've met them, this is like the 5th or 6th time I've met them, I can probably get away with like kind of knowing their personality and how they dress. I can kind of mirror that. A question I wanted to ask you, which I think would be good. I think this would be a good one for you. Try to take a sip. Nicole was nice enough today to bring us some. I asked if you wanted wine because I knew you like wine, but.
I do, but I have a very long drive home, so wine's a dangerous idea.
Nope, and that's fine. So she went with the tall boys.
Oh.
Which was fine. This is Nicole. She's classy, but then she's also gonna bring the tall boys. So that's what we love. But what I want to ask you, because I know kind of your whole, at least business career that I've known, you've talked about sales, you've talked about very much professional setting. Yeah. But I've also known that you're a very driven person. From what I've heard, meaning you're not like you're a go-getter. You're not like somebody that like I look at and I'm like, she just is kind of boring and she doesn't like really work hard and she just kind of like flows through life. Like you always seem, every time I talk to you, like I can see that you have like a passion for what you do and you like you want to. I think like I'm very much the same way. Like I get bored when I'm static. When I'm like if I know like if I'm at this level in my career, like if I stay at that level for like even a month, I like go crazy because I just feel like I'm settling. So I'm always, now with that obviously comes with its own challenges and by getting busier and excelling more, but you're adapting. So I know that I'm better today than I was even yesterday or a year or 5 years ago. So my thing for you, like I kind of know this by myself, but what's your big, like what motivates you? Like what's your big motivation? Is it, I mean, and some people could say, hey, it's money. People could say it's title. Some people could say it's the amount of volume you do sale-wise. Sometimes it can be totally different. I mean, have you ever really sat down? I know you have. I mean, I'm kind of doing this more for the people listening, but like what's your motivation in your, I guess, career? It doesn't even have to be Casella, but like your career as a professional. I guess it doesn't have to be work career. Maybe it's just you as a person, but that, and then kind of what are your, I guess, plans from, I mean, we've talked about the whiteboard and stuff, but I know you obviously have goals. I know you're, like I said, you're a driven person. So kind of what motivates you? How do you go about it? How do you practice and execute what you want to accomplish?
Oof.
I don't know if you ever thought about it. I know you have, but like.
No, I have.
Yeah.
I think like the overarching theme in anything from work to anything outside of directly Casella work, I really like helping people, and particularly helping people in our local community. So anything that revolves around that. So like my day to day, I'm just working with a ton of businesses in the area, and it's just trash, but they've got to get rid of it. It's got to go somewhere. And if there's anything that I can do to alleviate their stress or whatever, it's just finding a way to help somebody. is satisfying. And so I do a lot of volunteering in the local community. I can't even get on my first rental. And just even looking for tenants, and like I just got a new tenant in, and he works for a local business in the J. Wilmington area. And just hearing how like that home is so significant to him, and then hearing from my neighbors how excited they are to have someone stable, and just seeing how you can help people in any kind of business is exciting in general. So I usually tend to do things that would be community centric or have an impact on somebody. But as far as goal setting, I am definitely wildly goal driven. So usually my brain, I work best on achievable goals. So like the same way my job is structured, same way my personal life is structured, I will have a list of goals. And I might have to do 10 of X this week or whatever to achieve it, but I know I'm going to try to hit 12. And just incrementally step my way, and I usually try to have like what's this week, what's this year, what's the next 5-year vision. I'm still working on the 5-year vision of kind of life in general, but I've always just been very motivated by being able to achieve goals. Certainly money is a huge factor of it. I haven't been a commissioned person for a long time. But usually that's just a tool to continue taking steps forward. Like, what can that money do to help build the next step in my career? Like, working on right now being able to see the future of the next rental that I could buy. Is it, how far away is it? What do I need to achieve in, X, Y, Z to be able to afford that? So trying to break those steps down, but it is, I think just in general, I'm trying to work with people and stuff like that.
Do you, I'm kind of the same way. I'm a little different. I think my motivation for me is always trying to get better. I have a fear of like lack of potential, if that makes sense. Like if it's one where, meaning like if I don't think that I'm like squeezing every ounce of my potential out of myself, meaning I'm not the most gifted. I mean, people listen to this podcast. I'm not the best interviewer. I stumble. I'm terrible with words. But at the same time, like I'm trying to always improve. So like I have a kind of a thing I have on my desk, and it's basically a lot of it kind of like what motivates you. And I think a lot of it is there's a potential, especially because I'm in commission based. There's always the fear of lack of financial stability, and that's I don't think I'll ever get by that, because I'm one day away from not being in a position, like especially, I mean right now, I hope not to be in the future, but like if I get sick or injured or catastrophic, like I'm not sitting there like I got years to go before I'm in a position where I really feel like stable, which there's a motivation there, but my bigger motivation is like I said, lack of potential, where if I just find that there's days, and I have them, there's days where I'm like, why did you do this, or why did you do that today, or why are you wasting your time doing this, that, or the other thing, because I know it's not allowing myself to hit the potential that I could. The other factor, what you said, is I know I'm really good at what I do. Like I have the belief, maybe I'm not, but I have the belief that I am, and obviously my track record so far is validated it, but like I had the belief that I'm very good at what I do, and I believe that I have a skill set that other people don't have, that other people do need, meaning everybody lives in a home. Like, whether or not you might not buy a home, but most people, I would say if you polled them, majority would want to own their home at some point, or they're moving down. Like you said, trash isn't going anywhere. And I think you joke about it, like you're always going to be in business, because until they find a way to just make trash dissolve in thin air, you're going to be in business. But I look at that, and I think you're the same, is that you have a skill set, you're good at what you do, and it's just one where if you have the confidence, and then you know that, like I look at it every day, that I literally think everybody that's looking to buy or sell a home should contact me, because I think I believe in my head that I'm the best at there is, and that like, is that right? Is that a little foolish to think? Possibly, but I think it's gotten me to this position, and I'm not, based on what I've accomplished, I don't think I'm far off, but I really think I have the belief that, I can help everybody out there, and I know the best route to help somebody. And I think that, like for you, if you think that from, like I said, from a helping perspective, because to be honest, it's probably bad. I semi know budgeting. Like I do a little bit, but like I don't know how much I'm gonna make this year. I really don't. Like
Yeah.
I might have a general idea. Like I'll probably make X, Y. Like like a range, but I don't even know what I make on a commission check. Like I do. Like if I really broke down the numbers, but like my actual income. Like I have my board up there that I actually have I have all the. I go by how many homes I sell. I track the volume I sell just for the fact that kind of gives me a little perspective on, but like I really look at how many people I can help, which is like, and the thing is every year, my goal bumps up quite a bit, but it's obtainable,
Yes.
but it's like oh shit, I gotta try to accomplish that every year, and,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is my, 2 years ago, I beat my goal by 10%,
Ooh.
which was good, and which is quite a bit, and then my next year I was like, oh, I beat that goal by, I shouldn't say 10%, but it was like, whatever it was like, wasn't I did my goal plus I did another 50% of that goal.
Ooh.
Is that 150%? I think it would be, because it's not double. It was like 1.5 times what I did the year prior,
I think so.
or whatever. It was good. It was a good jump. But then I ended up wanting to do the same thing, and my goal, what I wanted to do, I doubled it last year.
Wow.
So then if you go back 2 years ago, then I kind of look at it, I'm like, oh my god, I like over doubled what I had then, which I just thought back then was big. So like, so what do I do this year? I do the same thing. I want this. So like, I'm hoping I accomplish it, but like, I'm telling you, like, come November, December when I make that goal, like I'm scared shitless because I don't think I'm gonna hit it. But then but then in the back of my head, like you said, it's obtainable because I break it down to every day and every action and everything that I do. I try to work towards it, knowing that, yeah, I'm not gonna accomplish that just by like doing this. I gotta really break it down. So when you goal plan and goal set, is that something that you focus on? Like you break it down, I mean, do you break it down by, you're probably like me, like, hey, I gotta make this phone call, or I gotta, or I gotta meet this client, or I gotta do this, or it could even be like, I mean, I'm sure you've been in sales, you've been rejected, like, so like, I kind of look at that, like, I get rejected every day, and I have like, my skin's pretty thick, like, it takes a lot to really get under my skin.
Yeah.
But have you had that factor too, where it's like something gets thrown in your face and like, good, like I'm gonna help somebody else, or I'm gonna do something different. Does that?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. So many layers of that to unpack, but one of the things I firmly believe in from any kind of, whether it's sales or management or anything of that nature, I think your goals, particularly those who have financial goals, need to be achieved from a behavior-based standpoint. So your goals should be behavior-based, because if I'm going in to meet with a customer and I'm like, gosh, I gotta make $10 off this guy, like, then I'm not making the decision from that's not my value standpoint. I'm not gonna try to squeeze some money out of a guy. If he needs the service and it's the right service at the right price for him and us, then we'll have business.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't make the $10, well, then I gotta go find somebody else to meet the difference or whatever. But so I try to do behavior-based things, which is interesting because when I originally started in sales, we actually had the behaviors already planned out for us. So here's our financial goals. The company believes these behavior-based goals will equal those financial goals. In my job now, we don't have that. And we actually, we're going through some training with a company that I've done training with before, some sales type training, and that is helping us try to craft those behavior-based goals. So I try to do a lot of things. I try to do them on a weekly basis because a month is too far out. But a week, I can't do a day by day, like my day's not the same every day.
Yeah,
So
that's great. Yep.
try to bring it down to the weekly basis and try to keep something consistent and achievable, because you can always grow it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to work on some of those behavior-based goals that I know lead into the financial goals, and then reassess, like check the finances as, did I make the right decisions on what behavior-based goals that I had? Did I achieve my financial goal? If I didn't, did I shoot high? Did I shoot low? And adjust from there. But on so many levels, like you were saying, from, if you get rejected and you're like, oh great, I'll just go work with somebody else. One of the things that I've been really focusing on in my work now is been really difficult, because I come from a standpoint of wanting to help people, and I'm realizing like you can't help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody wants to be helped. You might not be the right solution for everybody. There's so many different layers in between, and I do firmly believe in the model of every year you should get rid of your bottom 10% so you can grow that much farther on your top end, whether it's growing your current customers or whatever. But I've had to start with taking seriously accounts that are billing us from an administrative time standpoint. So like, if you have a customer that's making you enough margin to have two pennies to rub together at the end of the day, do you really still have two pennies if you're spending, 5 hours a month in collections calls? Well, probably not. If you only had 2 pennies that month, that doesn't cover the admin costs. So it's kind of hard to step away and separate yourself from a customer, but you kind of realize when it's not the right fit for both at the same time. So kind of do the dreary side.
That's something that I knew this day was coming for me, meaning like this is my 9th year. I've talked about this before on the show. My first year I sold 3 homes, and I would go in and I would have 1 to 3 calls a day. That was my business. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't very proactive at going and generating business. So I knew there'd become a day where I just don't have time. I'm hitting that point now where I just don't have time. I have 5. I would say on average I meet with 3 to 6 different people a day in different capacities. Every day I look at my calendar. You're probably the 5th or 6th person today. Same thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then I look at it and I go, when do I have time in that time frame to make my outbound prospecting calls, which I try to do every day? Well, I'll tell you right now, today is Tuesday, tomorrow's going on Wednesday. I touched 5 of probably 70 people that I had to contact Monday. Guess what happened today? I have add on Tuesday, add on a couple. Now I got some stuff done, but like I'm rolling in tomorrow with my database tomorrow. I have to contact about 100 people.
Oh.
And guess what? I got 6 appointments. So like this is literally my life. Every day starts Monday, and I really try to make my Monday as packed as possible from a call standpoint. And unfortunately, this Monday I wasn't able to do that. Like I just had stuff that like I couldn't push people. Like I'm not gonna push a client off that wants to see something because I got to sit here and make calls and do stuff. The whole purpose is to get into that position. But I'll go. I'll get to the final week, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm going through a week, and it's like I didn't accomplish 30 or 40% of what I needed to accomplish. Well, that's what it gets rolled into the next week, and then. So I think what you said, it's like, should I? But I'm always. I think part of this is just me as a. It's been my mindset for 9 years is not to say no. I'm a big yes person. Like I want to help people. So I guess I'm getting to the point now that I'm kind of starting to grow a team here that I can start to hand off stuff more, which frees me up.
Yeah.
Because I've always had this in my head. Do I not deal with a client that's looking at a lower priced property or looking at something that I don't make a big. I had someone yesterday went and looked at a place, about a half hour away. Really not a high-end property, was probably going to make not a lot of money on it.
Right.
I went and showed it. Part of the reason is I've been dealing with her for 5 years, and I have a loyalty where could I have sent that and just handed her off to somebody? I could, but there's going to be a point where I know I won't be able to do that, but I try like hell to try to, and I think part of it is just I'm very loyal to my, people that I've worked with. They bought a home before, they want to see something. I got a buddy out in Malone. I don't go out to Malone that often just because of the time. If it's worth my trip, sure, I'll sure as hell go out there. But to me, to go out and just see a house randomly, I don't do it. Now this guy calls me maybe once a year, every 2 years, because he really wants to see something. I know he financially can do it. I know, and he's a great dude. I love talking to him. So I'll make the trip out there to go see him. But is it worth my time? Is it the best allocation of my time? Probably not. But it's the factor of he also bought a home for me my 2nd year in business. So I have the loyal, I think at the time that he bought a home, that might have been my biggest sale to date at the time. And but it's you got the factor of I know at some point I can't do that. At some point I'm really going to have to, even a lot of the people that I'm working with now, I'm probably going to have to hand off to newer agents coming in, which is great. That's what I ultimately want for the company, but it's kind of I have a hard time. It's almost
giving away your baby.
Yeah, it's giving away, I'm also one, I'll prospect and stay, anybody that knows me, the amount of people that have said, honestly, we're going with you because you've been talking to us for 3-4 years when we told you we were 3-4 years away. I'm very big on, I will literally stay with you until you tell me, hey kid, beat it, or we don't like working with you. But it's gotten to me where I am now, but it's the time. The time is so finite right now that with child, with a family, one on the way. It's like, you know, I would work here till, I love what I do. I would work here till 10 at night every night, but, you know, I want to go home and, you know, see the kid. Weekends I try to spend with family. I would work all weekend because I loved this stuff up here, trying to find time in the day to do that stuff, and it's not there, you know, it's tough.
So I've heard a couple different theories, and
I was gonna say, any hacks you can give me, because
I wish I had something, but I'm trying the small, like, I guess, especially going through the sales training that I'm going through now, I think the goals that I had set for myself, because I'm such an overachiever, it was like, all right, so I did the math of, I'm a numbers person. So.
I'm the same. We're very similar, so this is kind of like just talk. I like the stuff I say. I know Nicole's gonna say yeah. So.
So my boss said, all right, you have. When we restructured everything, I think I had like 15, maybe just shy of 1,500 commercial customers under my belt, and that I currently have. That's not any of my growth goals or anything else that happens in between. Of the regular customers that I have, you know, structuring, okay, this section and this section are customers that we want you to have face-to-face visits with, and we want you to have, of this section, we want you to have this many visits and this many visits for this section, based on the complexity of the types of services we have there. So then in my head, I backed out how many hours a week I have available if I were to work an 8-hour day, because that still gives me time for my admin, because I'm usually like a 10-hour day plus. But in an 8-hour driving day when the businesses are open, minus drive time, which actually I give like half a shake to drive time, like, oh, I'll only be like an hour on the road every day. That didn't work. But minus, you know, sick time, whatever, you know, the time that you take off from work. And then I think I ended up giving myself like pretty much just shy of a couple weeks of the year that I wasn't going to be working, or that I'd be in sales training, or that I'd be off-site from a company standpoint. And then I shook it down to agreeing that I could be in front of a customer for 6 hours a day, 4.5 days a week out of so many weeks out of the year. And he literally did the math. Okay, so if my A customers, I think it's going to take an hour with, and I need to visit them 4 times, how many A customers do I need to visit a month, a week? Do the same thing for my B customers, which are like the 2 focuses that I have. And I literally shook it out, I'm like, okay, so I need to see 20 customers. I need to see 20 customers a week. And that, having the math behind it made sense, but I never thought that the original goal might not have. Because realistically, while I said, oh, my A customers may take 1 hour, most of them take 20 to 40 hours in total. Yeah. When you've got the follow-up and the everything. I mean, like I joke that like I had to find a home for what ended up being 58 tons of bubble bath, but like, if you try to find a home for 58 tons of bubble bath when you can't dispose of liquid waste in New York State in a landfill, not so easy. Oh, and it's on a budget. Like, impossible. And then you actually have to do it and make sure the trucks end up there on time, and oh my gosh. So, anyway, and that's a lot of my A customers have wild and crazy things like that. Oh, we pulled out lithium batteries out of 10 pallets of e-cigarettes. We pulled the lithium batteries out of and shredded the remainder part of the plastic, and we're actually able to recycle 10 pallets of e-cigarettes.
Can you throw batteries out in the trash?
No.
How are those supposed to be disposed?
Call the landfill, because you can't. They have extra. So the landfill obviously has the landfill for trash services, but they have a lot of extra services.
This is the one on Sand Road?
Yep, in Morrisonville. Essex County, good luck. I still don't know the answer, and I live in Essex County. I should know the answer, but I have no idea what you do with any of your stuff if you live in Essex County. But I would call the landfill, because usually like you should stockpile them and they can help you find a home. There are companies. I work with, actually it's a guy who does shredding services over in Vermont. And he does a lot of odd jobs on the side, and so he'll help me get rid of batteries, like when I have commercial customers who have like a milk crate full of batteries or something like that. But no, you're not supposed to put them in the landfill.
What happens if they go in the trash? I mean, it goes in the landfill, and then it'll be like polluting or whatever.
Exactly. Yep, it's really, really bad for the environment if you do put them in there. Certain batteries are, I think Dylan or Oxford, I think he said they were like an explosion hazard. It's a fire explosion hazard, which sounds funny, but we literally had someone like at a, not from batteries thankfully, but we had someone at a campsite put embers in a trash, and it was hot enough to still be able to start a fire, but it didn't like start a fire in the can that they put it in, and that can ended up in our truck, and the road caught on fire. And like if you can imagine before they ended up going in the new cell in the landfill, when you were up on the top of the mountain, imagine you open a truck that didn't have much oxygen in it, it's on fire, you start dumping it out in high winds, imagine what's gonna happen. You know, so
Have you been up the top there?
yes.
I did. It smells like death.
Okay, it's so not that bad.
It smells like death, and when I went up, there was about 2,000 seagulls.
Yes. You know someone's sole job, I'm super jealous of this girl, she sits up there with a 22 and shoots down the seagulls.
Really?
Yep. Okay, I think she actually does other things in her spare time, but like totally seen her up there shooting the 22 at the seagulls. That's a gig.
There's a lot of seagulls up there.
There's a lot of seagulls.
We were basically cleaning out our old house. We had like a mini dumpster. We went all the way up there and dumped it. I thought it smelled bad. This was like September.
So we're going to do frame of reference here.
Okay.
Of all the jobs in Casella, there are some jobs that are better than others.
Is that part of Casella? The landfill?
So Casella manages the landfill. It's totally separate from us. Like they explain it as like our companies in different silos, and so it's a different silo than the hauler. We're technically I work for the hauling division, so we move the trash and we're the trucks.
Okay.
And the containers. But the landfill is partly managed by Casella and then Clinton County and Skyler Falls.
Okay.
But yes, so of all the jobs in the hauling side of Casella, not many of them regularly are climbing in the trash all day. The first thing I need to do with every single customer that I go see is actually go look inside. So if we can equate smell from a seafood restaurant out in a hot blacktop parking lot on an August afternoon to the landfill, that would be, with seafoods we're gonna put it at about a 9.5, because I believe there's probably worse that I haven't smelled yet. The landfill's about a 1.2.
It's that bad.
I mean, when you open the can and you see maggots, like,
Maggots do smell, but I don't.
No, I'm telling you.
Landfill was nasty.
No.
I would have put it at a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, I don't know. Alright, so funny story. I ride with the drivers like once a month or so to at least get to know them better, get to know my accounts better and whatnot. And on one of the very first rides I went on, they took me to a seafood restaurant on an August afternoon.
There's a reference point. There's your reference point, yeah.
And the driver doesn't say anything to me. He's been doing this for like 15, 20 years, and he just sits there. And like they're all waiting. Like, here's this young sales girl, watch her run. And they've been up since like 4 o'clock. They start work at 4 o'clock in the morning, which means I probably had to be up at 2. So I'm sitting there and I'm tired and I'm trying to like, you know, act excited. It's 2 o'clock. Where's my coffee? I haven't taken a bathroom break or a lunch break. What am I doing? And he just lifts up the can, dumps the can, smiles, and then all the goo is running down.
On you?
No, on the side of the truck.
Jeez.
And I'm like, and he just sat there and he looks over. He looks back and the wind blows and I was like, they'll be fine. It's not bad, Terry. It's not bad. Not bad. You don't have a bad job.
This was your first stop?
Yeah, and like he's wanting me to like start crying, fetal position, like scream something profane, and I'm like just, yeah, doing good.
So I asked that because Nicole is making like the reference like it's like raining down on her, and I'm like, what?
No, on the truck, but there's windows everywhere.
Oh God.
The goo's close, okay? The goo doesn't smell good when it's close.
When I went up and dumped the trash up there, I looked down. I had this like goo on my pants and my boots, and I didn't know what it was. And I don't know if a bird shit on me or I don't know what it was, but it was like tarry and gooey. And I tried to like scrape it off on something, and it took me like a couple weeks before the stuff on my boots actually scraped off, and it literally looked like gum, but it wasn't gum.
Huh.
It was like a white gooey substance that it stuck.
Really?
This was at the top. I stepped on something, but it was on my pants too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was, and we're at the top of the man-made trash mountain. First time I ever went there, but there is a It's an experience. I mean, I'm glad I went up there, but I don't, I mean, that's me. I just.
They're not there. They're not up on the mountain anymore.
What do you mean?
So they stopped building on that cell.
Well, when this would have been last September. So when I went up, they had a whole other hole that was getting out of the plastic. So they're probably dumping into that.
Yeah, it's the new cell that they started.
Okay, so I was on the original or one of the, I don't know, the last old one.
Would tell us the OG.
Yes, so it's been the new is retired now. That cell. So that was where it went up, but it's kind of funny because I didn't know this. My reference points, like the part of the county that I didn't really know very well was like Morrisonville out to Peru, Peasleyville. Like I wouldn't really have to go out there unless I'm like doing show. Like this was like probably a few years back.
Okay.
So when I first, Gina was from Morrisonville, so when I first met her, I would like pull up and like on Banker, you could like look out, and it was like a weird part of the year where I'm like, why is that hill white? And I didn't realize like it was the top of the landfill.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking up there and like it literally looked like a snow top mountain in like the middle of the summer. I'm like, what is that? And I don't know why I never put two and two together. And then I realized I'm like, oh, okay. Like it didn't take long for me to realize it, but I had never recognized or I never saw that before. I don't know. That's my experience with trash. There's some things. That's why I'm asking Nicole as we're going along. But I'm going to change up some of my recycling habits to not pollute our world.
I will give you a visual that I hope sticks with you. When you put your zero sort recycling into your container and we haul it away, we end up taking it in a tractor trailer load to a recycling facility in Rutland. And it's like a system of conveyor belts and different electrical mechanical processes that like help separate it out. But it's not perfect, which means there are people standing on that line. Which means if you put schmutz in a container and that container goes in our container and it goes in a truck and it ends up in this warehouse and it sits for a second before we get there, Pepe Le Pew thinks that's home. And you may or may not get a whole bucket load if you're the first guy on the conveyor belt, or the first couple of guys on the conveyor belt, that has Pepe Le Pew in it. So remember, your schmutz equals Pepe Le Pew on a conveyor belt, and a bunch of guys either having to pay the price or putting their hands up and wait until he falls to the next level, if he makes it. So
they've been sprayed?
I never really heard stories about them being sprayed from skunks. They usually the what I got was the response is throw your hands up in the air, back away, and hope you hit something on the way down.
So the reason I say this, and I won't name names, I was told that you did not have to rinse out. I always rinsed stuff out when I grew up, and then I was like, I hate rinsing out the spaghetti or the soup or whatever out of this can or jar. And then this was a few years back, like you don't have to worry about it. We just sort through everything, it's all good. So I'm like, oh, I don't have to clean it. I apologize. Even last week, I had spaghetti jar, and I'm just like, I was thinking in my head, like everything I wanted to rinse this jar out with spaghetti, but in my head, I'm like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
So I walked out and dumped it right in the recyclables. I'm like, I'm doing my part. I'm recycling. Now I apologize to whoever got that in the conveyor belt. Batteries. I'll work on that too.
Yes.
So there's a few things. I'm not. My lack of garbage. Disciple or changing has been different, or we'll get better. So, Nicole,
yes.
We'll get away from work. What any hobbies that you do that we don't know about? Obviously, I know you like hiking.
Yes.
You like skiing.
I do.
Are you a 46er?
Not yet.
Is that your goal of yours?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you at now? You think?
18, I believe. I'm at 18.
Okay. How long have you been hiking those? 18 over how many years, roughly?
Quite a few. I think I started when I was maybe 21, 22. So maybe over the past, I don't know.
Were you in Lake Placid at that time?
Yeah, I started I think I did my first high peak when I was maybe junior, senior year of college.
So you traveled to come do them? From Potsdam?
Yeah, that's why I ended up moving to Lake Placid, because I was literally drive an hour and a half to be at a trailhead at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
And if you're gonna hike all day long, when I was in college, was I still in college at the time? Yeah, I think I was still in college at the time. I ended up doing a 14-hour hike over 3 high peaks. It was like a 20-mile trip, and we left before dawn, and we got home when it was dark. And I was just so exhausted. you started worrying, like, could you get to the trailhead in time? Would you be too tired driving home or to the mountain?
Yep.
Would you have enough energy to get off the mountain? And usually the stuff that I started going on was really far out. And I've done a fair amount of hiking alone. Like, I did a lot of my high peaks solo hiking. And there's not a lot of places that you can bring dogs. Or like, there are 46er dogs out there. I don't confidently know the rules, and I have small horses, so I don't always feel comfortable bringing them with me. So if you're alone in the middle of the woods and you're like 10 miles out, like, you don't just pick up your phone and call 911. I don't really do doing papers and because I looked it up on a helicopter. So.
Yeah.
So I moved closer because of myself.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, what do you get out of hiking? Like, why do you like hiking?
I mean, I like the exercise of it for sure. Believe it or not, to me, hiking those really, really long stretches in high peaks is probably more challenging than prospecting and making cold calls because it is so defeating to me. I'm not a crazy fit person, and I've never been. Like, I've never been a person who would go to the gym regularly or exercise regularly. I just love being in the woods. And so to be able to accomplish that when I'm not the most fit person out there and have to go through those mental phases, especially when you're hiking alone, of just keeping yourself uplifted and positive and that whole self-talk that you have for 14 hours alone in the woods.
Do you usually go by yourself too when you do these?
I would say 50-50.
Yeah.
I'm for a while, I haven't been doing as many over the past couple of years with work and stuff, but when I was younger, like end of college and early after college, I did a ton alone. And I would just go and go and go and go, which is just a neat experience to have the independence and the confidence. And like, I'm scared of the dark, so especially I'm scared of the woods at night. Like, you know, when coyotes are following you a little far on the outskirts, like, they're there. There's nothing you can do about it. They're there and you're alone in the woods. Like, it freaks me out. So I just like being able to push myself through that. And I like, again, with the goal setting, like 46, you got a number that you've got to pick off, and what's your strategy behind it, and how fast are you going, and can you pick up the pace? Can you take a few more on? Could you do a few more in a day than you did before? So I like that, and honestly, just the nature. I mean, I grew out in the middle of the woods. There's a couple places that I found in the Adirondacks that were so remote that by the time you got to the mountaintop, unless there was someone on a neighboring mountaintop or the one that you were on, you could do a 360-degree turn and not see a single building, a single power line, a single road. You're out there. And I just like the remoteness of it.
What's your favorite one you've done?
Probably.
What's your favorite one, and then what's the one with the best view?
Okay. Favorite one that I've done so far would have been a trip. I did Saddleback Basin and Haystack, and we went up through the garden. And you're going down the slides of Saddleback rather than having to climb up these really steep slides, but you're going up the higher mountains as you go. And Haystack is, I don't know, it's one of the top, I think, I can't remember what number it is, but it's one of the tallest ones out there, other than Marcy. And it was just such an experience because there were so many mountains, and between every mountain you like pretty much went all the way down an elevation and all the way back, and so it was mountain to mountain. And as you went, particularly on Basin, they actually had the old, I don't know what you'd call them, but when they did the survey where they decided what 46 peaks constituted the high peaks over what they thought was the 4,000 foot range at the time, like way back in the late 1800s, you're so far out you can no longer see civilization, yet there's metal drilled into the bedrock of the mountain that people use to do this survey. So I think just like the history of it and thinking of like, if I barely get it out here now, like, people did this in the 1800s. And the experience of just going that far and that long, so it's almost 20 miles. So it was my favorite trip. The best view, in my opinion, is Skylight. So...
Is that in Keene also?
It's up and over Mount Marcy.
Okay. And Mount Marcy is where?
In Keene.
Okay.
That general area out in the woods there. So if you, like most people, I don't even know, I'd have to look at a map to see what's up east west, but if you take a main approach over Mount Marcy, most people don't come back and over the backside of Mount Marcy, but if you were to go up and over from the main approach to Mount Marcy, you come down just a little bit to a four-way corner, and it's really this little spur, but it's skylight. And again, one of the, I don't know, top 5 or 10. But it was so cool because you could see like these rippling mountain ranges where you could see that glaciers had carved out the landscape around you. It was just really, really neat. And again, super, super remote. We hiked through a bog, swimming by Lake Terror of the Clouds, which was the highest elevation feeder lake for the Hudson. Starts there at like 4,000 feet or above 4,000 feet. And there was like a bog above 4,000 feet. And I love swamps and bogs. I think they're super cool. So you're like walking on these planks floating through bogs, super, super high up in the middle of the woods. So yeah, really cool experience. I love it out there.
That's fun. Now,
I'm a little out, I'm sorry.
no, that's like I said. This is like a perfect. You went from like very career driven to she's playing out in bogs 4,000 feet above the ground. Is it true that I heard this too? I'm not sure if it's correct. Is the Adirondacks the oldest mountain range in the country?
I don't know.
Or I could be wrong on that. For some, fact check this.
Now I'm curious.
I heard. Now I don't know if it's true or not. Like,
yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I don't know. I don't know how you'd even. I mean, obviously you figure it out by rocks, because I'm guessing going by like the height of the rock at the very top, because obviously that whatever the age of that would be to me would be the early or the latest or most far back hitting that peak.
I don't know.
I don't know who told me that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I mean, in regards to just like mountain ranges, I've hiked. I only have, what is it, 40? I only have 44 more to go. I got 2 under my belt.
What ones did you do?
Cascade and Porter, which are probably
that's where I started.
Yeah, they're like the 2 easy. So there, I'm on the Nicole plan, so I'll get there eventually. I have zero motivation to do a whole 46. I'm different. I mean, it's one that, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll get into hiking, but I always find, I don't know, so I'll give you my exact recap of going up those 2 mountains, because they're close to each other, the peaks.
Yeah. Yep.
If you go up, then probably it's really not that far of a trip to hit both of them. I remember going up. You start off. This is my hierarchy of it. So you get there, you're like, okay, ready to go. You start hiking, like getting used to it. Then you kind of find a groove, and then you're just like, like at that point you're just like monotonous, like any kind of distance thing. So then I get to a certain point where it's like, oh, this is kind of fun. I can see what people are coming down, people going up. Again, it's kind of cool. Then I get to the point about 2/3 up the mountain. I'm like, are we almost there yet? Like I feel like a little kid in a car and I'm tripping. Like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Hey, somebody said before, how much longer? Oh, we still got like a little bit more, 45 more minutes. Okay, keep trudging.
45 more minutes. How long is it gonna take you?
I don't know. I'm just throwing an idea. It took me more than 45 minutes. Well, I mean, I've gone up Poco probably in about 40, 45. That about right?
I've never done Poco before.
That's my jam. I've been up there a few times, but it's not 40. It's not a high peak. But you go up like, and then you get to the point where I'm like, are we there yet? Then we get to the point where you probably got like 10% left, and you're like, we're near the top, and I'm like, no, we still got another like 10 minutes. And are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
Then you get up there, and it's like, oh, we're there, and it's beautiful, and love it. You know, everybody's having a good time. We're at the top of the mountain, very cool, looks pretty. Then you're up there, you usually have lunch or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then you start coming back down. I like coming back down just because it's quicker.
Oh yeah.
This is me. To me, it's like a time thing. Like so this every single time I get all the way down, I go walking out to go back to the car. There's always a sense of relief. Like, oh God, I'm done. Because by that time I'm not like pumped up that I climbed this mountain.
Yeah.
And then I think I've done this every single time I come down, even like Pokemoon or whatever it's called. Yeah, Pokemoon Chen. Yeah. Even when I get down it, I think in my head as I'm walking to the car, why the hell did I just spend 2 to 4 to 6 hours walking up that hill to come back down? I don't get enough out of it. I really don't.
Oh my god.
I know this is something that I always like. I always like feel embarrassed telling like hikers, but like I'm not a hiker. I've never been. But I think it's cool. I think like, don't get me wrong, the view up there is amazing. I think the view, like, I love that, like when you're up there it looks so cool. Yeah. But I always like in my head, I'm like, now granted, this is probably just because I'm wired like a crazy person, but I always think like, say it's like, I don't know, Cascade, what was it, 4 hours maybe top to bottom? I don't know how much it was, top to bottom,
don't
no?
ask me.
Was it that long or less? Is it less?
I used to run it in the morning before work.
Nicole, crazy. She's crazy. We don't do, I do not run mountains. I trudged up the mountain. So I got up there, but I think this every time in my head when I come out of the mountain that I'm like, why didn't I just spend, I don't know, that's me, like that much time up on the mountain. I don't know.
It was peaceful because you got.
But then I think about that. Like I get it because when I hike, my phone's probably don't have service to begin with, but I turn my phone off. Like I don't even look at my phone. When I get up there, I'm like 50-50 on whether I even take a photo up there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not like getting my Instagram photos up there. I think all the photos that I have that have been up there were people that sent them to me. I just like I really like just like zoning out.
Yeah.
And like
absolutely.
going up. I don't wear headphones. I just like because usually I've always hiked with people, which is one. So you're talking, which is nice. But even just like going through, I do like the nature aspect because it allows my mind just to kind of like decompress. But I'm also wondering, I'm like, I could have done that in about an hour versus the 3 hours it took. I don't know. But I gotta, I don't know. Maybe I don't do it enough or see like the value. Maybe as I get a little older, I haven't gone hiking to be honest in probably a couple years now. But
good job there.
yeah, I would love to go. I mean, I should go with you and Adam. Well, I should go with you because I know Adam's like okay, talking about Adam Crosby here. Adam, if I go on one of these things, Adam's gonna be like, oh, let's just go let's go bushwhacking over to that peak. I'm a trail guy. I'm going up the trail. This is when Adam and Buck took me up to the top of Whiteface when I was told I should not go to the top of Whiteface.
Oh, you like almost rushed your face down?
Did you hear about this story? Adam.
No, I haven't heard a thing, Galen. I haven't heard a thing.
Okay. So we go up to the Chamber Ski Day. I haven't skied in 2 years. I go to Whiteface. I've been scared to death to go skiing at Whiteface because I have been a Titus guy. I can ski every trail at Titus. I'm comfortable at Titus. I'm like, Whiteface, I can't do Whiteface. I swear to God, ask Adam how many times I've been talking to him about, can I do Whiteface? I'm like, yeah, sure, come up with me, go to Whiteface. So I get there. I'm nervous. One, I can't put my damn boots on. So, but then we go up. We go on like whatever the first trail was, and like I didn't fall, which is good for me. Mm-hmm. But I got like all the way down. I'm like, okay, I feel decent. And then all of a sudden we go up and like, well, let's go down whatever the blue triangle or blue square. Yeah. And I'm like, I got down that and I felt decent. Like I felt like I kind of had my feet under me.
I mean, you didn't have any brakes, so it was fine.
Yeah, so I felt like good. Like I'm like, okay. They're like, we're gonna go down the Black Diamond. I'm like, whoa. Like I'm not doing that. Well,
but you just followed suit.
Yes.
And I was like, we're all gonna be idiots. And Galen's like, yeah.
Well, I didn't say yeah. I was just like, I was kind of like, yeah. Like I don't want to be the odd man out. So Adam skied many times. Buck was the next ski instructor. I followed these guys down. Luckily, they stopped at every kind of like little like before they get to the next dip to make sure I wasn't dead. But I kind of stayed with them. So then we did a few trails, blah blah blah. So then we had a beer at the lodge. And we went down, had lunch, had another beer. So I'm like, I think I gave you my last beer. So I had a couple beers. And like, well, let's go back up for another run. So it was me, Adam, and Buck. The girls stayed behind, and they're like, we're gonna go to the top. And I'm like, yeah, let's go to the top. So we get all the way to the top, and anybody that's been to Whiteface, I mean the top, like the one where they get up there and there's a sign that says the start of the Olympic whatever race.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
I'm looking at that, I'm like, this is my like sixth time in my life on skis. I should not be
You're
up there.
on an Olympic run?
Yeah, like maybe fifth or sixth. I have not been on a lot. So then I get up there, and you take a left off the ski slope, and people again that skied, you can vision this. I think if you go straight down, that's the run I was told to take if you ever go up there to go down it. I don't know which one it is.
Yes, I have an idea. I don't
it's
that up.
so what do Adam and Buck do? They go down and then take a quick left and basically just drop off the face of the earth.
Oh no.
And literally like I was the last one off the ski lift, so I'm like kind of behind them, like I don't know the mountain. I don't even know where to turn. So all of a sudden like I'm there, Adam just goes whoop, whoop, down the thing, and then Buck goes whoop, whoop, down the thing, and then I'm like, so in my head I'm like, well, here's the fuck it moment. I'm just gonna go. So I go down. I like stop like for a split second. This is like I've never go skydiving, but this is about the equivalent of me skydiving. I like look over the edge and it is straight down. It is the visibility up there sucks. The wind had picked up and it got icy. This was after I also had a couple drinks. My first run in probably an hour and a half because we were down there for a little bit. Yeah. So like I get up. I'm like, oh my god. Had I done it probably before lunch, I think it would have been okay. I go down, carve a little bit. I hit a point where I hit some ice and just spin out, lose a ski. No. Luckily, the ski rolled down right to me where I didn't have to move and I could just catch it. Well, then I tried to put my ski on, and that took a few minutes because it's so slopey that I couldn't like jam my foot down to this damn thing. And so then I finally get in. Great. So Buck's like, okay, I'm gonna wait for him. Adam was already down the bottom.
Oh yeah, I'm
so,
like, screw it, go.
Yeah, so Buck's up there waiting. So I kind of go down, I'm carving a little bit. Well, I'm not going a little as wide as I should. I hit another spot. Well, instead of just like spinning out, I probably flipped over.
Oh, it's a yard sale.
Oh God, I flipped over 6 to 10 times that I could probably remember.
Oh.
And I'm just like hitting, and luckily I had a helmet on.
Yes.
I got done, I didn't realize my goggles had snapped off. I luckily kept.
Did you
No,
fix your car?
I lost. No, they stayed on my head. They stayed on. Luckily,
Oh.
the back where they were connected popped off, which I didn't realize till later. Lost both my skis. only kept my poles because they were on my hand, and like kind of like I finally like kind of stopped where I slid. I don't know how far I actually stopped, but like kind of looking up at Buck. Buck was pretty far behind me, so I probably fell a good probably 50 yards, maybe. I'm guessing down this hill. So then finally, like, I'm kind of like disoriented, but I'm like, the first thought as I'm falling down this hill is, don't break anything, don't hurt your, like, because there's no control, like, I'm literally just flipping, so I'm just like trying to, and I'm like, so Buck comes down, gives me my skis, I get on my skis, I'm like, okay, I still have half the damn mountain, like half this like portion to go down. So I luckily make it all the way down.
Yeah.
So then I meet down there and Adam's like sitting there chit-chatting with some people and he kind of looks at me and goes, how was it? I go, well, you guys took a spill, didn't you? I go, yeah. I said, oh, did you see? He goes, no, I could just see the big cloud of white snow coming down the mountain. So I ended up at that point, I don't even know, we're at the, I think it was Skyward. I think it was called Skyward, Skylight, something like that. So we're at the top one, I got to the base of that, and then I made it down the mountain fine.
Yeah.
But it was like that one section, which I know now, I'm like, I probably could if I go again, I would just have to go after a few runs, or maybe my second time back to kind of my legs. But I finally made it all the way down, and long ways from there all the way down, and then I think we were done. We had envisioned about, you guys had all left, and we had envisioned going back out. I'm like, I'm good. We're going to go get some Candyman and head home. So.
It's tough.
But that was, it was rough.
Skiing, like I've taken so many falls skiing, and I told you.
You said you had a bad one at one point.
I've had several bad ones.
Yeah.
And like when I was a teenager, I dislocated my thumb skiing and got a concussion and like woke up halfway down the mountain, like realizing my thumb's dislocated, like not remembering where I was or how I got there.
Mm-hmm.
I rode my face down. I told you I rode my face
down. That was one you told me about, yes.
Mountain Run, where like you could hear everybody laugh. Literally rode the face all the way down. Feet over my head, like face is just skiing. And I have had enough concussions where like it's concerning at this point.
All from skiing?
Mostly from skiing.
Okay.
I know this from just being a dumbass, but
I didn't know if you played sports or anything.
No. The only sport that gave me concussions, we'll say, was skiing.
Okay.
But I've had enough that it's wildly concerning, and it's crazy because like skiing, you don't realize until you're on the mountain like how quick of a decision can be a bad decision. I remember I went backcountry skiing for my first time, and I had a few minor concussions, no major concussions, so I still wasn't skiing with a helmet at the time, which is wildly stupid. To anybody out there who skis without a helmet, stupid. You look cool. You definitely look cool without a helmet. Don't get me wrong, but you need to wear one. So I had just had shoulder surgery to repair a dislocated shoulder, and like it was mostly good, but like I was just pretty much right out of rehab from the surgery, and just allowed to take the I don't know, all this stuff off, the sling off. And I thought doing backcountry skiing would be wonderful. So I'm the only person, I have backcountry skis, that's what I use on a regular mountain, like downhill backcountry skis. And I'm like, yeah, I got the cool setup, like it's good, like I'll figure this out. And I look around at everybody, and everybody has scales. Everybody has scales on the bottom of their skis.
Which is?
You've seen cross country skis before, right? Mm-hmm. Like the underneath of them, how they have like these little.
Oh, sorry, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They help you going up, but they do slow you down a bit going down. Mine didn't have scales. And granted, we didn't need the scales because it was just skinning up.
Do you hike up with the skis on?
It's called skinning. Like it's like this. It feels like velvet. It's like a piece of material that you stick to the bottom of your skis, and it feels like velvet. And you just ski up the mountain.
So it kind of grips as you're going up?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really cool how it works. It works really, really well. So anyway, I didn't think about like the scary side of it until everybody's like grannying along, and here I am just shooting through the trees. And like, they're tight trees. And I've never shot through the trees before. Not wearing a helmet, barely have a shoulder attached. I'm right-handed, it's my right arm. And like, we at one point were like trying to ski over a stream.
Can you kind of cut and carve your way
Well,
through
if you're
those?
skilled, you could, but
Because I mean,
I'm
it's
cool.
almost like slaloms, right? Because it's very tight.
Oh, yes. You know, skilled people would be easily carving through that and
Yeah.
picking their lines.
I would hit a
Cole,
tree.
on the other hand,
Yeah.
went like starfish style.
Oh god.
And like at one point I remember hugging a tree because it was the only thing I could do to stop. Like I couldn't, you can't pizza when the trees are tight.
No pizzas.
No pizzas. I like hugged a tree and I realized like as I was hugging the tree that I had so much momentum I was still going to swing past. So the only arm that was holding onto it was the one that I had recently had sewed back together. Skiing's not for the unskilled. I might be unskilled.
I think if you do it enough, you just become, you can like fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yep, or
Because I don't think
you die.
I think you're
it's
pretty
really
good.
an option.
I thought you were pretty good when we went, but then again, like I said, I think part of the time I wasn't really focusing on other people because I was like, my head was don't crash.
Like I had a pizza.
There's times, my most dangerous time, my best time skiing is when I'm kind of just past the control point where I'm a little out of control. I find that I don't have time to think, so I just react.
Yeah.
I'm a much better reactor when I think about what I'm doing. That's when I like, whoa, okay, like I even just like going flat down like, you know when you sometimes come out and you're just kind of hitting a real flat portion
Yeah.
where it's just straight away and you really do, you got to keep the speed. Like that's the time where I almost spin out because I'm just kind of like, I'll look one way and I'll be like, oh. Like I'm very distracted. So like, if I can go down a mountain where I'm more concerned on just not hurting myself, I'm usually just like skiing down and carving down. I'm a very out of control skier with very poor technique. I remember going down and Buck's like,
kind of agree.
he's like, you got it. Yeah, you've seen me. I'm like, Buck's like, you got to turn here and here. I don't know how to. I've never been taught to ski, so I'm literally just like.
Some lessons, man.
I know. I swear to God, like I'm survival mode when I ski. I'm just bombing down. I'm having a blast doing it, but I'm not. If somebody looked at me, my technique is. You'd be concerned about my skiing going down the mountain, and I think Buck and Adam has said a couple times like, hey, do this with your knees or your things that I'm.
Something here.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there like, flying down.
Through.
Yeah, so love it though. I can't wait to go back. But that's I think when I actually got there, which I'm glad I didn't because I didn't. It took me years to put them on. But I was like, I think I called Adam like, hey, because everybody was like wearing their boots from the car in, and I'm like,
Yeah.
do we put the boots on do we put the boots on at the car or do we put them in the lodge? And Adam's like, I usually just wear mine in. I'm like, I'm gonna walk them in because I don't really know how to put them on, and two, like I'm sure they're gonna hurt, so I don't want to be sitting around in these boots all day, which you end up being. So now that I know that when I go, I'll just wear boots in and leave my shoes in the car.
Leave your gear in the car.
Yeah, so I'm learning, but I've been once, so I'll get better as we go along.
Oh yeah.
Now, Nicole, anything else that you want to touch upon? Anything else that you wanted? I had down. I don't know why I put hunting and fishing. Did you put hunting and fishing?
I haven't learned to hunt yet. I learned how to shoot this year. I got my first gun this year, but I haven't.
We talked about that. I want to go to the camp.
To the camp.
The Camp of Palooza that we're gonna host this year.
Camp of Palooza.
You guys have talked about it,
Woo!
but you got to make it happen because I think it'd be fun.
Well, we have Camp of Palooza like almost every week.
I know.
Everybody's just gotta show up.
I'm a father here. I gotta have dates. I gotta have times that I can sneak away. But I would like a nice Friday night in the summer kind of deal or Saturday
it's gonna be
night.
like a camping only option.
What do you mean?
Meaning people should camp.
Oh yes, yeah.
Like
I'll
not
bring.
a drive home situation.
No. Like I'll borrow like a tent because I know I don't have a tent.
You know, well, mostly Adam. I think we own about 7 or 8 hammocks. You'll be good.
Ooh.
Yes, hammocking. Whoa. Cool.
Tell me about hammocking.
All right, so.
Do you put a cover on for bugs?
They actually have like a mosquito net sewn into it.
Okay.
On top.
Okay, so tell me about hammocking.
So hammocking is wonderful. It's kind of like being cuddled by your sleeping bag all night long. But it's really nice because you don't have to find like a true camping spot. Adam and I are working on the Cranberry 50, and we, in my wild ambitions.
What's Cranberry 50?
You should know the Cranberry.
Is this a thing?
Yes! It's a really big thing!
I've never heard that in my life.
Do you know where Cranberry Lake is?
I don't know. No.
No?
When I say I'm not an Adirondack person, I'm like I go to Lake Placid to like go eat. Like I don't.
Okay, well you're not gonna eat out here unless you bring it with you.
So Cranberry. Tell me Cranberry Lake. Give me a very short synopsis on that. We'll get back to hammocking.
Okay, Cranberry Lake, past Tupper Lake, big lake.
Never been there. Okay.
You haven't been to Tupper? Oh.
I've been there Tupper once to play golf, and to be honest, it's okay.
That's my song.
Is that, wait, why Tupper Lake? You like Tupper Lake?
Love it.
Maybe.
Dude, there's like skiing, snowmobiling, cool people, food.
Is there skiing?
Beer.
What's skiing down there?
They actually used to have a mountain there, Big Tupper.
Oh.
They don't have lift service there, but you can skate up and ski down.
Maybe we can do a day trip to Tupper.
Yeah, be cool.
Like maybe not like skiing, but like just like drinking, you know?
They
like
have like a lumberjack. What's it called? The lumberjack games or something.
Great outdoor games.
I don't know.
They used to be on the
Both
ESPN.
like hatchets and stuff. It's awesome.
I would go down to that.
Totally cool.
Is that in summer?
Yes.
Well, let's do a day trip down there in summer.
Perfect.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. So
Cranberry Lake.
Cranberry Lake is just past Tupper Lake, and there's a trail that goes all the way around the lake. Cranberry Lake is huge. The trail that goes all the way around the lake starts in Cranberry Lake. Well, depending on what side you go.
Can you Google Cranberry Lake? I just need a reference point where you're talking.
So it goes all the way around the lake, goes all the way down and around, and you end up on the other side in Wanakina, and all the way back through to Cranberry Lake. So you're hiking 50 miles. The trail's 50 miles long if you do the full loop.
Okay.
And I thought that we were gonna do that in 3 days. I think I predicted that we would do it in 3 days. The Cranberry Lake 50, complete it all.
It's 50 miles around.
It's 50 miles around the lake.
And you would.
Hike the whole thing in 3 days.
So you're just basically hiking along the shoreline.
I'm gonna show you. You hike along the shoreline for a ways on the eastern side of the lake and the southern side of the lake, and then on the western side of the lake, you end up going up and around the Oswegatchie, and then back into Wanakina.
Which is a river?
Yep.
Okay.
And then you end up in Wanakina, and you hike from the town of Wanakina from there to Cranberry Lake, and then through the towns in the woods. Oh. Okay. So anyway, you get a patch when you complete it. It's like a wild feat, like you've hiked 50 miles in like some of the most remote wilderness. And I'm trying to pull this up.
It's a cool case background too.
It's just showing waypoints, but this is Cranberry Lake, and you've got to hike around all this, like the little fingers that come out from it. You've got to hike all the way around all that to do the 50. So anyway.
So like that's a bitch to go out there.
Oh yeah, and that's where the Oswegatchie is, so you actually go a little farther west. So you're hiking like a really long ways, and it's super, super remote out there, especially on the south side of the lake. But we ended up hiking this, and it was like in the mid-range of my hammocking career, which is new to me. And I will tell you, hammocking, when you have hiked like 10 or 15 miles in a day with a really heavy pack on your back, feels like a massage and sleeping on the ocean at the same time. And you don't have to, like, we couldn't find campsites. We were all the way out at probably one of the farthest points out, and we're like, either way you turn is 25 miles back home, and there were no campsites. There was nowhere to sleep. And we had the 3 dogs with us on top of it. So we ended up just making our own campsite in the middle of the woods, and we didn't have to worry about it with a hammock. Like, you're not looking for like a full tent site, you don't have to look for a lean-to or anything, you can just hang it on a bunch of trees. Alright. Cameron's lost in the sea.
No, this is, can you just kind of like walk around that road? There's a little bit of road going on there.
There's part of it on the south side was a logging trail at one point.
Like, I wouldn't even say that, like this whole section right up here has like houses all along it.
No, you actually don't go quite that far in. So you go, actually, let's see if I can try that far.
You mean that close to the lake, so you go kind of around those houses?
Yeah,
Is there, there's obviously a trail designated for this, like it's marked out? And you have to do it in 3 days?
No, I just, I'm an idiot, but, yeah. So there, that's the trail. So the lake's really big, and then you're gonna make that trail a lot bigger.
Holy crap. Okay, so
So it's remote.
yeah, so that's south side. You're not even going down the water.
No, not at
How
all.
come you go that far out? Is there? You said there's a mountain range there.
So on the southern side, like all here on like the northeastern side,
Mhm.
there's really cool like super remote spots, really beautiful spots around Cranberry Lake. But then there are a couple ponds. Like we ended up like right here.
Wait, so you've done this?
I've done half of it. Well, a little over half of it.
Wait, was that when you said you went to the 25-mile mark? And how'd you get back?
Well, we did find cell phone service and almost waved the white flag, which like we've got a lot of pride to be in the woods, and we're really proud of being like woodsy people, and like nobody gives up. And I was in so much pain, like I have really bad foot issues, like
Mhm.
and didn't practice ahead of time. I had brand new boots on. It was
Ooh, yeah.
horrible. Like I still have bruises on my feet from doing this almost a year ago. It was so bad. I don't know what I did, but it was horrible. And when we called quits, we were gonna call his parents to have them bring their boat and boat out to us to the one point that we were at. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't give up. I can't give up. But I was literally in like screaming, crying pain at the 25-mile mark. And like the dogs are chasing after people. Like I can't.
Oh, you
even
had the dogs too?
Oh yeah, because of course you'd bring 3 small horses out in the middle of the woods.
You guys are crazy.
Idiots. But we ended up, there was like a shortcut to get back, and I will tell you, the whole point was hammocking was worthwhile because I actually survived the night the second night, by getting my little cuddle session in with my hammock. But we ended up finding a way that you could cut off one section of it, and it made it about a 30-mile trip that we had done in like, I don't know, 2.5 days or so. But we still have a big section that's complete. It's gonna be almost 30 miles to finish it, so.
So you can go back, finish that, and still get your patch?
Of course.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be continuous.
No, you just have to complete all 50.
What's the elevation change there? Is it?
Not much. It was really insignificant.
So it's pretty much just kind of like
Yeah.
rolling,
Just
going up and
rolling.
down.
Yep.
So what's the minus the new boots thing? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not that bad of a hike. It's just
No.
distance.
Distance, and it's been such a long time that I've hiked with a pack because I normally don't.
Oh, true. I
backpack
forgot about
anymore.
that. Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Because I had been doing all my hikes alone, I wouldn't. To me, it was a little too far of a stretch for me to completely backpack, like A to B backpack, and stay overnight by myself through that, where it wasn't like an out and back. I've done some solo camping, but not like that. So, and it's also weight wise, you have to carry more if you're going solo. So this would have been between the 2 of us, and it's just been so long since I carried a really heavy pack that it slowed us down a lot. And the mental game of just, we're overachievers, so what should be done in 5 to 8 days, we wanted to do in 3.
Yeah.
And we had meetings the following day, so it's like, am I really stuck out in the middle of the woods and can't make my meeting because I don't want to get a helicopter home? Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So.
So what's hammocking involved? I mean, you find just 2 trees at a certain
That's
distance,
it. 2 trees.
and then
Just tie it up, throw a tarp over if you think it might rain, and hop in.
how high off the ground are you? Probably not high.
How fat are you?
I was gonna say how much. As long as you don't get way down to the ground, right? So you probably put it probably 3-4 feet off the ground.
I think I like mine like starting shoulder height, because even if you pull it taut, so when all the strings are up before you climb in, it's like perfectly horizontal. Still at shoulder height, I sink down enough that I don't want to be really close to the ground, especially with the dogs, like Dax, the puppy. He'll sleep underneath of me.
So you don't want to be bumping them.
Yeah, well, he's a Newfoundland, like it's
Yeah.
not like he's a tiny puppy, so
Yeah.
I don't want to be sitting on the dog all the way
It kind of feels weird too. I think for like you can kind of feel the ground below you. You're not touching it, but you know it's close to you. Versus being a little bit higher up, probably has a little more like comfort.
Need my vantage point.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's gonna climb up underneath me, but yeah, it's fun. It's nice. It is very relaxing. It's incredibly comfortable. Usually we.
You just have like a pillow that you sleep on, or just
no.
you bundle up like a blanket or a hat or a sweatshirt.
So I use a sleeping pad, so like you would use underneath your sleeping bag in a tent, because it helps. Like you lose a lot of heat from your
Makes
backside
sense.
in the hammock. So I sleep on top of that, and then bring a sleeping bag with me. And I usually don't even need a pillow, but if I do, I'll just bundle up some clothes or a jacket or something.
And there is a bug net that goes over you?
Yeah, it's actually like weaved, it's sewn in, so it's almost like it's
So you
like
don't,
a cocoon that you just zip yourself into.
so when you flip it, it's not like, it's not just rope that you're laying in, but there's like, it's more built in.
It's like a full, it looks like you know the material, or you
Like
have
a
an idea
canvasy?
of the ideal of a parachute material, the
Yep.
nylon?
Yeah, or nylon, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no like holes in it.
No.
I'm always thinking about the ones you see like at someone's
like
backyard and you
yeah,
kind of like,
no.
okay. So yeah, I figured it'd be a little more rugged and actually camp-like. No, that sounds pretty cool. So I think at Campapalooza,
Campapalooza.
I wanna,
like this.
there'd be enough. I mean, there's trees I can
I
hammock
haven't cut
in.
them all down yet.
I know. The last time I went up there, actually, it was funny because when Adam bought that, it was like 5-6 years ago. It was the first time I ever went there.
Yeah.
Then the yurt burnt down, and then they had all this land. He cleared it all out, and all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, remember like the yurt?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's right here. And we're way up here now." And it was funny is like, I think I went up, like I said, for a sauna, which I basically was like just an extra set of arms to hold something in place. So I didn't really bring much.
It helped out.
It was good. It was good. I mean, it was nice. I mean, helped. It kept Adam from falling off and breaking himself because he was trying to do too much. But wasn't very good. No, that would be fun. I think we should do that. Crosley bonfire would be good.
Yes.
Smoke some cigars, have some drinks.
Oh yeah.
That'd make me a
That'll happen.
happy camper.
Camper.
Yeah. So no, I think that'd be good. I'm looking forward to that. I think a nice like July, August night would be great.
It'll happen. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think I'm in. I think I'm in. Nicole, anything else you want to add? I think we've touched on quite a bit. Did you don't mind the podcast?
I don't.
You did well. You were good. You were actually.
I was not as profane as I thought I would be.
No,
I
right.
really toned it down.
I don't think you actually said any kind of
I tried
profanity.
hard. I put on the mom
We
voice.
we put the explicit rating on. I've had some people that are very good, but knowing my friends and knowing some people, we've had a few that warrant the E on the podcast. So
yeah.
which is fine. We are who we are. So but the one good thing about you is like you didn't get freaked out. Some people like don't know what to do with the mic. They hide, they duck, they look up. I sometimes don't make eye contact just because I'm just I don't know.
Your own thought process.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying. But no, you did very well. They did good at your first one. Not too bad listening to yourself.
Oh, it's awful.
You kind of got used to it though now, right? Doesn't it feel weird because like I can like step away like over here and you're talking, but it feels like I'm like in
right there.
like I'm like in your like voice. It's very odd. If you've never actually talked and heard yourself get played back into your head, like even just like taking these off sounds so much different. Then I put them on and it's like So no, it's cool. We had a good time. So I guess we'll end there. It's getting late. I want to go eat. I'm hungry. I think you did very well.
Appreciate it.
I'm glad you came on. Yeah, I'm glad you came on and did it. So, guys, we will stop there. That is episode 20 of the Galen Trombley Show. We're out.